For the 23rd time, the Southern Columbia Tigers are playing for a state championship. Last season, the Tigers' try for an 8th straight 2A championship was ended in the District 4 playoffs against Troy. This year, Southern's standards were met, and the Tigers are on the hunt for another state title.
I knew that we could definitely make it back, but there was a lot of just like outlying factors that, maybe we might not just because of this and that. But we really clicked 1 week in the season, and ever since that, I think we're the best team in the state for sure.
We've had a ton of fun this season. I think compared to the past 3 years, I think this is the most fun I've had playing football. It's like a brotherhood, we all have the same goal.
I think we're somewhat spoiled here, but that's a good thing because we have won a lot and we've played in so many of these championships and have won, a good number of them. So, that's kind of where the bar is, and these guys are used to it.
The Tigers are taking this week to prepare for their opponent, the Farrell Steelers, who are no strangers to the state championships.
To be honest with you, yeah, they've been in a lot of state championships, but, we've been in a lot of them too. And I think that we're more prepared as a group because of, the recency type of thing. Like, some of us that have been on the past state championship team are still playing.
The number one key against them is to try to do a good job against their running game, and particularly their main running back. And then the quarterback, I'm familiar with him because his father was the quarterback when we played him in '95.
The two teams went back-to-back in '96. Both ended in favor of Farrell. Coach Roth there for both.
Very, very tough, close defensive battles. And so, yeah, it's been a long time since we've faced them. Now, they were single A. They stayed single A for quite a while. We've been double A, and now they're up to double A, obviously.
Southern will look to earn a 15th state title against Farrell on Friday afternoon.
Southern Columbia, big win last week down there at Lehighton High School, and they took care of business against Lansdale Catholic. Another outstanding win. Got some breaks there in the second half and pulled away for a pretty convincing win.
Nice to see Southern Columbia back to where they seem to belong. This is their 23rd record appearance, and they're looking to try for their record, continuing to set their record with their 15th state title. Can you imagine? 15 states. It's like an expectation, I think, at this point. Yeah,
obviously the hiatus last year, but to come back and make this run now, 14 wins in a row, that one loss earlier in the season to Wyomissing, pretty incredible feat by Coach Roth, his players, staff, and the administration out there to, get back in the weight room and fix some things last year. Obviously, Troy had an outstanding season, taking nothing away from Coach Smith and what he was able to do. They obviously went down and won the state title, and hopefully the Trojans, along with District 4, now the Tigers can keep it in the same district and get a state title on Friday.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And this is Farrell's first appearance since 2019 in the state championships, and they've handled their opponents to get to this point in the season, just coming off that 40-19 win over Seton LaSalle. But these two teams match very well on paper. They both like to run the ball. They both are tough on defense. I think it's going to come down to whose line can, hold things down for the offense and the defense.
Yeah, I would think Coach Roth and his staff, they are obviously very familiar with playing the day after Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. The weather kind of cooperated. It was a little windy, not too far of a trip, kind of playing in their backyard, and they took care of business. So for them, just to kind of recap the season, they lost to Wyomissing in week 1, 49-27. Then some of the games, some highlight games through the season that they won. They beat Loyalsock 41-0, beat Mount Carmel. That's obviously one of their foes. Big rivalry there with them. They won 49-16, and then a tough Mifflinburg team and Montoursville team didn't pull away. Those games were close, but able to win those games. And then the District 4 playoffs, they beat Kawaneski Valley. Bloomsburg, that was their second win of the season over them, and then obviously that Troy game, and now wins over Steelton Highspire and Lansdale Catholic, which sets up the game with Farrell down at Cumberland Valley High School. So we're going to talk about the game from last week.
We mentioned is out of District 10. They started their season with a loss by a point to Hickory, 13-12. They then handled Fort LaBeouf, had a forfeit victory, defeated Mercer 66-0, won 2 games handily against Sharon and Wilmington, lost to Steubenville out of Ohio 40-24, and since then they've been rolling, defeating Sharpsville 52-7, Reynolds 74-0. And Cathedral Prep 46-7. In their playoff run, defeated Eisenhower, Mercyhurst Prep, Karn City. State quarterfinals beat Richland 32-14. And last week defeated Seton LaSalle 40-19.
Yeah, they've really been rolling as of late. And that's what you'd expect, obviously, for a team playing here with a chance to win a state championship today. But really impressive victory over Seton LaSalle out of Pittsburgh last week. Really dominant early on in that game. Just explosive plays all over the field. We'll surely be talking about the Steelers' ability to generate explosive plays throughout today's show, but really picking it up here in the playoff times and playing some of their best football of the season coming into today's game.
Looking at the Tigers season back on August 22nd, turnovers played a large role in the Tigers losing their opener to Wyomissing. The Spartans defeated Southern Columbia 49-27. Since then, Southern Columbia has rolled off 14 wins in a row. A 15th win today would extend their state record to 15 PIAA championships. Tigers then, after that loss, rolled off 2 shutout wins over Loyalsock and Milton. Defeated their arch rival Mount Carmel area handily 49-16. Handled Central Columbia and Danville. The turning point for the season that showed what the Tigers were made of then came the first week of October when Southern Columbia beat a Mifflinburg team that was ranked in the state in 3A. They ended up winning the District 4 3A championship. The Tigers won that one 21-14. Then beat Montoursville 26-16. Demolished Bloomsburg 61-0 and finished the regular season scoring 61 points again in a win at Shikellamy 61-28. In the District 4 quarterfinals, they beat Kawanesque Valley 41-20. Southern then beat Bloomsburg 41-21 in a game that the Tigers led the Panthers 41-0 when the starters were pulled. Defending state champion Troy out of the Northern Tier League was the Tigers' opponent in the District 4 championship. The Tigers defeated them in Mercy Rule fashion 42-0 for their 5th shutout of the season. State quarterfinal at Selinsgrove against Steel High. Tigers won that one 55-26. And last week in the Eastern Final, at Lehighton High School against Lansdale Catholic, the Tigers beat the Crusaders 24-7, outscoring them 17-0 in the second half.
Southern coming off that 24-7 win over Lansdale Catholic. That was the 2A state semis, marking the Tigers' 23rd trip to the state final in school history. The game was tied 7-7 at the half, and then 2 critical Crusader turnovers near the end zone netted Southern 2 scores. One was safety to go up 9-7. Then they built a 16-7 lead, and obviously they won the game 24-7. Courtney, I know you saw Eve the next day. I didn't get a chance to talk to her, but it looked cold. But I think it was tough for Lansdale Catholic to kind of find the ball with that wing T offense, and then obviously Southern wearing dark uniforms. Their numbers, the white of the numbers, aren't exactly the biggest numbers in the world, but they run that offense to perfection. And Ayden Hockenbroch, obviously some keepers there, and Garcia made some nice runs, and they just kind of got it done against Lansdale Catholic.
Yeah, that first half was a little bit slow, and I don't know, like you said, whether it was the weather or what it was, but the Crusaders' defense was strong early on, slowing down the Tigers, but that obviously didn't last long. And you talked about that safety and those scores in the second half. The Tigers scored 9 points in less than 2 minutes in that third quarter. I think that really kind of set the tone. I don't know what coach said at halftime, but it really kind of fired them up and got them going. And they played to perfection. Their defense has really, really come on strong. I think that was something that they had focused on, right around midseason, that the defense has to show up and has to hold these teams, because you don't want to be giving up 20, 30 points at the end of the season, especially now. So Lansdale coach called Southern Columbia a machine of a team. And like you said, they run this offense to perfection, to a T. They know what they're doing, and hopefully they can keep that up against Farrell this week.
Yeah, I got to see Lansdale Catholic last year. They came up to Mid-Valley and they played Harry Armstrong's Riverside Vikings team. And that game was kind of close early on. Lansdale was making some mistakes, but the Vikings kind of able to pull away in the second half. And again, having to travel up here to Lackawanna County, having to travel up here, obviously down to Carbon County, kind of takes a toll there in the second half, weather-related, the day after Thanksgiving. But give credit where credit is due to Southern Columbia. And Eve Hernandez was able to catch up with Coach Roth and Ayden after the game, and here's the report from down at Lehighton.
they've been a big second half team, very explosive in the second half. And for our defense to come out and hold them to 0 points in the second half and shut them out in the second half, that was really the key to the game. I mean, we didn't score a ton of points, but they gave our offense enough opportunities. We made enough plays, to get enough points to win the football game. But again, I think our defense really set the tone.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, Coach Roth always talks about visualizing yourself at Cumberland Valley, walking on the field, winning a state championship. I mean, it's our goal. Anything other than that's a failure. So, I mean, that's all we thought about the last couple of years. I mean, the history of this program, and then last year, we're the team that lets it down. We're the team that fails. But so much commitment and effort went into it, and now we did it. I mean, we worked together as a team. The chemistry on this team is great. I mean, great win today.
All right, thanks, Ayden and Coach Roth and Eve for getting that state semifinal interviews from the Southern Columbia Tigers. For Farrell, they come into the game. They beat Seton LaSalle 40-19, and that sets up the state final game coming up Friday at 1 p.m. down there at Cumberland Valley High School. Newswatch 16 Sports will be there. Eve and Courtney heading down to cover that game. You were down there last year to see Troy win. What's that venue like? A little bit different than Hershey Park Stadium. Yeah,
it does. It feels more like a regular high school game. It's obviously at the high school, but it's a nice complex. I remember being windy there last year. It wasn't very cold, but it was pretty windy. But I think it provides a nice atmosphere. You can get the one fans on one side and one on the other, and it does. It feels like a very, very big high school football game, not just like at Hershey. I know some of the kids probably miss playing at Hershey because that's where you always wanted to play, but we'll see how things go. And I'm very interested to see this Farrell team. They've got senior tailback Juelz Johnson, who has been explosive for the Steelers. They've got quarterback Aaron Pegues. But Juelz is the all-time touchdown leader at Farrell. He had 240 yards in this past game against Seton LaSalle. He went over 2,000 on the season. I think he's one of those players that really will be on the focus for the Tigers defense this week. Yeah,
for Southern Columbia, they are very familiar with playing down at Cumberland Valley. Obviously, they didn't play last year, but 2023, the state finals have been there for a while. So Southern familiar with going there, playing on that field, and that should not be a problem for Coach Roth making the trip down 81 to get set for that state final. So good luck to them.
Yeah, as you went through that schedule, Dave, just going back to that October the 3rd matchup at Mifflinburg, like you said, and like we've been saying all year, that was to me the turning point of this Southern Columbia season, where they really picked their play up maybe a couple notches from where they were obviously last year in the disappointing season, and even earlier in the year. I don't know if they really were playing at nearly the level they are now. They kind of saw some belief in themselves, I think, after they knocked off a talented Mifflinburg team, got by a very strong Montoursville team the following week. And from there, it's been just straight dominance, like you said, blowing out Bloomsburg, handling the defending state champ Troy. It's a team with a 14-game winning streak that is also playing by far its best football of the season coming into today's PIAA Class 2A state championship game.
We're going to take another break, and then we'll come back and hear from head coach Jim Roth on his history against Farrell and hear from defensive coordinator Andy Mills following last week's win over Lansdale Catholic. We're back here live as both the Tigers and Steelers are on the field warming up. Interestingly, 3 decades later, exactly 30 years later, Southern Columbia head coach, Hall of Famer Jim Roth, is taking on Aaron Pegues in a different role. Pegues was the starting quarterback in the 1995 season when the Tigers lost 6-0. He completed 4 of 12 passes for 78 yards in that game, and now Pegues is the head coach for Farrell, and his son Aaron is the quarterback. And we heard from Coach Roth thinking about that full circle moment.
That's just a really unique situation. I'm pretty sure the son, the current player, throws the ball a heck of a lot more than the dad did. Because if I recall back to playing Farrell those 2 years, they didn't throw the ball much at all.
Yeah.
They probably ran the ball even more than what we run it now. And so he's definitely probably more of a passer. In fact, he's thrown for around 2,000 yards this year. But it just kind of it just kind of, kind of brings things full circle when you hear things like that. Now you're coaching in a game where, the former coach, their son's playing, and then also the head coach at that time is still on the staff. As I saw, getting the roster, it listed all the coaches on the team roster, and Falcone is still one of the assistants there. So I'm not sure how old he is, but I'm thinking he's got to be up there, because I thought he was a bit older than me back in back in the 90s when we played him. So interesting. It's one of those teams too that we thought we might need them a number of years now in the playoffs, because they've had pretty strong years year after year, and they've been in the state playoffs. But this is the first time that it's actually happened.
And obviously,
again, that was Southern Columbia head coach Jim Roth. Had a chance to talk with Dave earlier in the week about the history of these two teams playing, and 30 years later, the quarterback Anthony Pegues now coaching this year's FARREL team. His son Aaron, the starting quarterback on this iteration, 133 for 191 on this season. That's good for a 69.6% completion percentage. Very efficient and explosive. 1,926 yards, good for a 14.5-yard average. He's got 21 touchdowns to just one lone interception on the season. On the ground, he's also explosive. 95 carries for 601 yards and 9 touchdowns. So a true dual threat quarterback. Really one of the main engines that makes this FARREL Steelers offense go at such a successful rate like they do. When we come back, we'll take a look back at last week and see how Southern Columbia took care of Lansdale Catholic to earn their right to their 23rd state championship game.
We're back here, and in that Eastern final a week ago, it was Southern Columbia that was tied with Lansdale Catholic 7-7 at the half, and the Crusaders, quite honestly, should have been winning the game. They had a couple of drop passes. In the second half, Southern's defense dominated, scoring 17 unanswered points to win 24-7. Casey, you brought up a point before we came on air about how important that sack was by John Quinton to end the half last Friday.
Yeah, it was. I think just it put a lot, really let Lansdale Catholic know the physicality wasn't going to end just because this game was tied, or Southern Columbia wasn't going to start to beat themselves up or turn on themselves. They were going to continue to go at it. I also think physically it really banged up the quarterback. He didn't seem quite the same level of elusive in that second half, but you called it, Dave. The first half by Lansdale Catholic, they very easily could have been up 1, maybe even 2 scores in a highly contested game, and they were really playing some good football. Coaching staff got on these Tigers pretty hard at halftime, really challenged them to raise their level of play, and that they did in a dominating second half, allowing next to nothing offensively for Lansdale Catholic and really executing offensively. They've had a chance to talk with Tigers defensive coordinator Andy Mills after the game, who sort of echoed those sentiments. Made the plays when they had to, but still always things to work on, even when you're heading to a state championship game.
Well, I'm happy with how we responded. We were sloppy. We didn't really play our best football, but we made pressure in these matches, pressure on the quarterback, brought him down for some losses. It turned out. We did a big job tackling. I'm just improve on that.
Well, yeah. So that was Andy Mills. Ayden Hockenbroch also had himself quite the game, Casey. He ran efficiently, scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. Grady Garcia had a short run, but it was the Tigers' signal caller that had a lot of success on the ground. He scored 3 times running the football this season, 2 of which were a week ago.
Yeah, and they really, really needed it, Dave. This Lansdale Catholic front was really challenging them, not allowing many big chunk yardage plays from the 3-headed monster of Andrews, Williams, and Garcia. So what we've seen develop throughout the season is Ayden Hockenbroch with that waggle keep, that bootleg keep out to the rear side really has given teams that are flowing to the strong side of the field a lot of issues. They've had a chance to talk with head coach Jim Roth after the game and really heaped a lot of praise on the way that Coach Roth set these plays up. I know I had a chance to tell you that for an article this week. But yeah, Ayden, just an outstanding football game last week and a really clutch performance to get his team back here to the state championship.
I mean, with the game, gotta get a game plan. I mean, we don't want to plays before that started out. That's kind of what Coach Off does. It's where he set up other plays, and a lot of people didn't see that. So we have plays before that started out, and we got to it was an under when it was time.
I think it's a great point by him, Dave. A lot of people just think, Southern Columbia, the wing tee, they just run the 7 same plays all over and over again. But the level of detail that goes into scouting other opponents, that goes into game planning for those opponents, and then when they have to adjust on the fly mid-game, they are so smart and so experienced at just being able to tinker or maybe use a different formation here to get an advantage on the edge, or maybe change a blocking scheme to get an advantage up the middle. They always do such a good job at putting their players in really good situations. I think that is one of the true keys that has made this program sustain its historic success over now 4 decades.
And it appears, yes, they are. The Steelers are making their way off the field to go into the locker room. Southern Columbia is still warming up here. The captains will meet for the official coin toss, and then the Tigers will go into the locker room. We're going to take another break. Well, it's been 30 years in the making, we said. It's also been 29 years in the making. FARREL's 2-0 against Southern Columbia head coach Jim Roth. There's very few programs that can say that they've had multiple matchups with the Hall of Fame coach for the Black and Gold. Only other ones I can think of are Wyomissing and Riverside. Those were in less important games. So this Tiger team, led by their leader, Jim Roth, who's been running the show for 4+ decades, more state championship wins, more state championship appearances, more district championships, and more wins than anybody in the history of high school football in Pennsylvania, and he's up near the top in United States history.
Just a truly unfathomable run of success sustained over decades and decades, generations really. That's what we're seeing now, where, guys that he played or coached against back at the beginning of the run now have children that are playing or he's coaching. It's just outstanding what him, Andy Mills, and his staff have been able to build. I'm at 520 wins on his illustrious career. Just truly remarkable. Winning percentage over 87%. He's 520 and 74 with 2 ties throughout his career. That is really, really hard to even wrap your head around. But he's hasn't lost a step, Dave. One of his finer coaching jobs of the season this year, rallying this group with a lot of returners from a season ago and what was one of the more disappointing seasons in Tiger history, brought him back, has them playing some of their best football here now in December, and, really wouldn't expect anything less.
And to put that 520 win total to perspective, the late George Curry from Berwick was the all-time leader. He had 455 wins. So Jim Roth now 65 wins ahead of Curry for the most all-time. Obviously, you look at even a half-decent high school coach, it would take a decade to make up the ground just how much Roth has ahead of Curry right now. It's just simply unbelievable.
Yeah, it truly is.
Tonight, the Tigers are hoping to have a pep rally at the Ralpho Gym following a 15th state championship victory. For FARREL, their opponent out of the West, they are looking for state championship number 5. This will be the 30th combined state championship appearance between these two historic programs. The District 10 champion Steelers have made it 7 times. The Tigers of Southern Columbia making their 23rd appearance. Live here from Chapman Field in Cumberland Valley, the state championship game is upon us. The Tigers of Southern Columbia representing District 4 and the Steelers of FARREL, District 10. Dave Fegley and Casey Savitsky bringing you this live. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with tonight's starting lineups for the PIAA state championship game. At this time, we will announce the starting lineup. Start with FARREL. Their head coach is Aaron Pegues. The District 10 champions come in winners of, obviously, the District 10 championship and are the Western representative with a record of 13-2. Quarterback is the head coach's son, Aaron Pegues. He's a junior. Running back, Julez Johnson, a senior commit to Nebraska. Wide receiver, Nemo Jones is a senior. Other two wide receivers are Jadon King-Vincent and Dorian Kane. Tight end is Farrell Lowe, a senior. Left tackle, sophomore Zayden Thomas. Left guard, sophomore Levon Crumby. The center is also a sophomore, Noah Turner. The right side of the line, both seniors in right guard, Brayden Andrews and Darnell LaCamera. The kicker is senior Rashad Dunbar. Defensively, defensive ends, Zayden Thomas and Darnell LaCamera. LaCamera is a senior. Thomas is a sophomore. The defensive tackles are both sophomores in Noah Turner and Levon Crummy. Linebackers, freshman Dante Gillespie. He was a freshman. Junior linebacker Amario Boatwright and sophomore Jason Marshall. The cornerbacks are senior Nemo Jones and junior Damar Kane. Free safety is junior Dorian Kane. Julez Johnson is the senior strong safety, and sophomore Jason Marshall is the punter. Now for the Tigers, the 14-time state champions, 8 in 2A, 6 in single A. Their head coach, Jim Roth, has been the leader of all 14 of those state championship wins. The Tigers come in champions out of District 4 and the Beast of the East last week. Their starters this afternoon, quarterback is junior Ayden Hockenbroch. Halfbacks are senior Brayden Andrews and sophomore Grady Garcia. The fullback is junior Joey Williams. Wide receivers for the Tigers include junior Blaze Kissinger and senior Nate Gallagher. Tight end for the Tigers is junior Jace Malakoski. Now for Southern Columbia's offensive line, left tackle is junior Jaden Carter. Senior left guard is Greg Fulmer. Aiden McHale is the junior center. Right guard is senior John Quinton. Right tackle, sophomore Braylon Smith. The kicker and punter for the Tigers is senior Preston Shadle. Now for Hall of Famer Andy Mills' Tiger defense. Defensive ends are senior Ethan Makowski and junior Chase Williams. Defensive tackles, senior John Quinton and junior Jaden Carter. Outside linebackers for the Tigers, a trio of seniors in K.S. Morrow, Brady Arnold, and Anthony Martino. Inside linebackers also platoon with 3, including senior Talon Piaa, junior Nolan Wittig, and senior Caden Hopper. In the secondary for the Tigers, senior Nate Gallagher is the cornerback on one side and junior Blaze Kissinger on the other. Making his first career start at safety today is junior Keegan Deal after regular starter Caden Zachman, also a junior, broke his collarbone 2 days ago at practice. As expected, Southern Columbia's got the fan advantage right now. Looking across, we're on the Tigers side of the field in the press box. Thankfully, we're in the press box because it is chilly outside this afternoon in Mechanicsburg. Chapman Field is where this game is. Cumberland Valley High School. They made the switch here a few years back from Hershey Park Stadium. Honestly, doesn't seem to have that same mystique as Hershey Park Stadium, but it's a beautiful high school, and they accommodate very well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A little bit of a different situation than when the games were played at Hershey Park. But this is what, our third trip here, Dave?
Yep.
Cumberland Valley Tigers playing some really entertaining football games. If you remember a few years ago, the 99-yard drive where the Tigers came back to win the state championship on the final possession of the game. So we've seen some really good football here at Cumberland Valley throughout the past few years. And listen, we would expect nothing less today. 2 outstanding football teams with a lot of talent all over the field. For Farrell, it all starts with Julez Johnson, their outstanding running back, Nebraska commit, 213 carries for over 2,200 yards on the season. 35 touchdowns to go along with that. Again, he's committed to Nebraska. A number of Division I caliber players for this FARREL team. And for Southern Columbia, it's the three-headed monster you've grown accustomed to appreciating for all these years in this Tiger program. Brayden Andrews leads the charge with just under 1,500 rushing yards, but all-purpose yards, Dave, he's been just a menace all season long. 2,481 all-purpose yards on the season. Fullback Joey Williams with 866 rushing yards. Grady Garcia went over the 1,000-yard mark a week ago. He's also got 17 touchdowns on the season. We've seen a number of contributors. Ayden Hockenbroch had 2 huge touchdowns last week on the ground. So both teams ultimately really are dangerous running the football, which in a cold day like today seems to be very important.
Other players for FARREL are Division I recruits. They have guys with offers from Tulane, Akron, Bowling Green, amongst other schools. And obviously that's going to be important for the legendary defensive coordinator for the Tigers, Andy Mills, to try and stop the ton of speed that this Steeler team presents. And just the way that the state championships played out this year, ironically, Andy Mills is a Southern Lehigh graduate, so his alma mater won the 4A state championship game last night, and now the very next game in the schedule this weekend, he's looking to be the defensive coordinator along with head coach Jim Roth as part of all 15 state championship wins for the Tigers if Southern Columbia is able to get it done today.
Yeah, and he's going to have his hands full again, Dave, but listen, that's been the story for Southern Columbia and their defense throughout the state playoff run. A number of Division I recruits in their win against Steelton High Spire at Selinsgrove, 55-26. Their defense did a great job in that one. And of course, last week against Lansdale Catholic, you had a Navy commit on the field. Their quarterback committed to Akron. A ton of athletes all over that field. They did a tremendous job holding them scoreless in the final 3 quarters of that game. Andy Mills' defense has led the charge for this Southern Columbia defense and team all season long, led by that front 4 of Ethan Makowski, John Quinton, Jaden Carter, and Chase Williams. It all starts with them up front today.
So again, if you're just joining us, FARREL was Southern Columbia's opponent in 1995 and 1996 in the single A at the time state championship. In that 95 game, 6-0 was the win for Steelers.
Mistakes are not an option in a state final. On Southern Columbia's second possession, Todd Sharrow has problems with the pitch. FARREL's Stan Kennedy recovers. 5 plays later, FARREL shows its quickness. Kennedy off left side untouched, 26 yards, and the Steelers have a 6-0 lead. Southern's D needs to come up big in the second quarter. FARREL with a 4th and goal from the 3, but Jeremy Hoagland is there for the stop at the 1. The Tigers offense had a few more chances in the first half to get something going. Here Brad Asavala hits Rico Rosini on the screen, but then Rosini gets hit by Kennedy. FARREL leads it at the break 6-0. FARREL's defense dominating the first half of play. The Steelers holding Southern Columbia's offense to 61 yards. On their first possession of the second half, the Tigers drive deep into FARREL territory, but Asavala's pass to Andy Hellwig is incomplete. The drive stalls on the 17. 3 minutes to play in the game, still 6-0, and Stan Kennedy coughs up the football. Southern's Scott Bloom recovers. But once again, the FARREL defense comes up big. 4th and 4 on the 28. Asavala is stopped short of the first down, and the Steelers hold off Southern Columbia's bid for a second straight state title and their 33rd straight win, a 6-0 triumph for FARREL. You've gone through some good teams, winning and scoring some big points, putting on big numbers. Did you ever think you'd be shut out?
No, but up until today, our 2 previous losses, one of them was a shutout. So fortunately for our program, we have to go back to 92 to find that game. So it's been a great run for us, and right now I just feel bad for the players because I realize that a lot of them have had great success here and they won a title last year and everything, but at the same time, it's hard when you go this long and the expectations are so high and you fall short like this. It's a big disappointment.
Next year, 14-12.
Rico Rosini, Southern star running back, had hoped to play in this game. Doctor said no way, broken bone in his leg. FARREL strikes first the defending state champs, Rennie Gash to Chico Pinkins. Pinkins breaking tackles, goes 23 yards, and FARREL has a 6-0 lead after one. In the second, Southern Columbia strikes back. Nick Slater's pass appears to be picked off, but Bobby Jankowski with the great adjustment, tying the game at 6. Last play of the half, FARREL with a golden opportunity. Gash's pass on the fake field goal, but the receiver falls down. Southern Columbia races into the locker room, tied 6-6. But any momentum Southern has is fumbled away in the Tigers' opening drive of the third. Joe Murphy can't come up with a loose ball. Dante Newell does and recovers at the Southern 38. The Steelers make the most of the opportunity. 4 plays later, Jason Kennedy on the pitch, finding the corner. The 2-point conversion giving FARREL a 14-6 lead. FARREL's defense stingy in the second half. Newell levels Joe Murphy. Early in the fourth now, Scott Bloom cuts into that FARREL lead. Bloom from 5 yards out, and Southern is down 14-12. But on the 2-point conversion, Mark Yakovich gets it in the backfield. Marino Harris also in the backfield with the big stop. The Steelers D curtains for Southern. Gash mashes Murphy. FARREL celebrates its second straight state title, a 14-12 win. The Steelers celebrating a bit too much and too often for Southern coach Jim Roth.
People should be playing the game and concentrating on the game, and if they want to be excited about making a play, that's one thing. But this stuff of walking to our sideline and jeering and taunting and all the other things that were happening, that's not high school football. And for whatever reason, we couldn't get any cooperation out there. But I'm not going to, certainly blame the officials for losing the game. They earned the victory, but I felt bad about the way some of our kids, lost their tempers and so forth after the game. But, I have to say that it was a frustrating situation because of some of those circumstances.
So the Tigers get a third chance at redemption here this afternoon.
Yeah, and like we played for the interview from Coach Jim Roth in our pregame show, it really seemed like these teams were on a collision course many times throughout the past 5-6 years, but just never ended up happening. So now finally here in 2025, the long-awaited contest between two of the best, the small school level the state has ever seen.
The Steelers have just made their way onto the field, and the Tigers are about ready to erupt here with a fan advantage. A lot of fans making their way here to Cumberland Valley. It's not as crowded in terms of Tiger fan support as in previous years, but considering the weather, a lot of fans have come out. All fans are on their feet as the Tigers make their way onto the turf. Southern Columbia lost the toss. The Steelers won the toss and they deferred, so the Tigers will get the football first in this 2025 PIAA Class 2A state championship game. Southern Columbia is in home uniforms, black jersey, black pants, black helmet. The Steelers have a white jersey. It's a nifty looking one. It's got speckles on it, black pants, and black helmets with a gold F on them. Southern Columbia's helmets have the classic SC logo. And obviously, it goes without saying, in games like this, teams have to deal with the momentum quickly to not allow it to get out of control, because if it gets out of control one way or another, in a game like this where both teams are able to run the ball and control clock, that could be advantageous for either side. Captains will make their way onto the field for the fake coin toss for FARREL. Their captains are Rashad Dunbar, Julez Johnson, and Aaron Pegues. Pegues is his pronunciation. Got confirmation on that. So just like the animal, and along with Nemo Jones. For Southern Columbia, their trio of captains are seniors Brayden Andrews, Ethan Makowski, and John Quinton. So, Casey, I know none of these players on either side were alive when these two teams matched up, but the head coaches Very rarely does something like this happen. 30 years apart, head coach Anthony Pegues for Farrell was the starting quarterback in that 1995 state championship victory over Southern head coach Jim Roth. Roth is still the head coach of the Tigers, 520 career victories. By far the state record. Pegues' son, Aaron, is his quarterback now. So now the fans officially know what has happened with the coin toss. Dave Fegley here, along with Casey Savitsky, set for this afternoon's 2A state championship kickoff. Kicking off for the Steelers will be senior Rashad Dunbar, back deep for the Tigers, senior Brayden Andrews, and sophomore Grady Garcia. Tigers enter 14-1. The Steelers 13-2. The pigskin has been kicked, and we are officially underway. It'll be taken by Andrews from the 21-yard line. He's out across the 30. Fighting forward across the 35. His forward progress is going to get him out to about the 38-yard line, so good starting field position for Southern Columbia.
And here we go, Davis, what we're now going to call the four-headed monster of Ayden Hockenbroch at quarterback after those big 2 touchdowns a week ago against Lansdale Catholic. In the backfield, Brayden Andrews, Joey Williams, and Grady Garcia. Southern Columbia wants to establish this ground game, really want to do it, and get another touchdown on their opening drive like they did a week ago against Lansdale Catholic.
Hockenbroch has the troops out of the huddle. Garcia goes in motion. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams gets across the 40 to about the 42-yard line for a pickup of 4 on the play.
Good first down play there, picking up positive yardage. They go to the fullback, Williams, early. Joey, 866 yards on the season with 10 touchdowns. He's played really well in these state playoffs as well. Tigers doing well there to pick up 4 on that opening play.
Nate Gallagher comes in at the receiver spot, gives the play to Hockenbroch. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews gets across the 45 to about the 48-yard line. He's going to be close to a first down spot. I think he's going to be just short, bringing up 3rd down and less than 1.
Yeah, the Tigers went to a quick snap there, got to the line in a hurry, run the sweep there to Andrews going to his right. Did a good job up front there, getting a good push, and now, like Dave said, a third and very short here for the Tigers.
3rd down and 1. Handoff to Garcia. Garcia's going to try and get the edges across the 50, across the 45, to the 40, finally knocked out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 Tigers.
They got work motion sweep to Garcia on the left side. He gets the first down easily, then makes a couple of Farrell defenders drop with a couple of great juke moves along the sideline. Nifty footwork there from the sophomore Garcia. Tigers moving the chains for the first time here. Less than a minute and a half into this opening quarter.
The chain crew did not move at all. I was looking to see if there was a flag or something, but there wasn't. It'll be 1st and 10 Tigers from the Steelers 38. Handoff to Williams. Williams breaks a tackle, gets inside the 35 to the 32. 6 more there.
Yeah, Mario Boatwright for the Steelers filled the hole there nicely, but a good move, way to get some yards after contact there for Joey Williams. And again, that first down, picking up 4 to 6 yards, really big for this Tiger offense.
2nd down and 4, just about 2 minutes into this 2A state championship game. It's going to be a reverse. Andrews to Garcia. He's inside the 30. He's inside the 20. He's inside the 10. See you later. Grady Garcia, 32-yard touchdown, and the Tigers strike first.
Oh, that go to the inside reverse. They have a staple of this Southern Columbia offense. They had this Steeler defense completely fooled, flowing towards Brayden Andrews on the far side of the field. Garcia up the near side. Great blocking downfield from his teammates. And like Dave said, that's Garcia later. Tigers, 9:56 to go in the first. Strike immediately, all on the ground with a touchdown.
So 32 yards for Garcia on that one. 5-play drive, all on the ground success for the Tigers. Chase Williams, the long snapper, Blaze Kissinger, the holder. The kicker is Shadle. He misses it, so it'll be 6-0 Tigers with 9:56 to go in the first quarter.
Again, all starts with Julez Johnson, 2,287 yards. Coming into today's state championship game, the Nebraska commit is explosive with the football in his hands. Going to be very important for the Tigers to control the line of scrimmage up front and limit his production.
Shadle's kick. It's going to be taken at the 11-yard line, out across the 20, the 25, to the 30, to the 40, and he's going all the way. Jadon King-Vincent going to go 90 yards for the touchdown.
Wow, what an explosive kick return that was. Southern Columbia had him pinned in the coffin corner here deep on the near side, right where they want to kick it, but man, King-Vincent really made a couple of Tigers kick off specialist miss, reversed back to the middle of the field and took it to the house. The Pittsburgh Central Catholic recruit strikes first on his first play for Farrell here. And as they do all the time here, Dave, Farrell going to be going for two.
Yeah, I don't think they've attempted a attempted a PAT this season, and it's going to be a Wildcat formation as Julez Johnson is in. He's going to take it to the edge, and he's going to get in for the 2-point conversion, making the score 8-6 in favor of Farrell. 9:41 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back in. So an extra point missed by the Tigers. Kickoff return for the Steelers and a 2-point conversion for Farrell. The advantage right now, obviously, in the special teams department goes to the District 10 champions. Still early on here in this 2A state championship game. Short kickoff goes to Joey Williams from the 31. He gets across the 40 to about the 45. A flag flies in from the Steelers sideline. Got to be either a hold or a face mask where it was thrown. And be a hold against the Tigers. So that'll take the ball back to the 30-yard line.
Man, what a start here, Dave, huh? Tigers looking unstoppable on their opening drive, but Farrell responds immediately. So now it's the Tigers offense back here out on the field. Less than 3 minutes only into this PIAA Class 2A championship, already with their second possession of the ball game.
Handoff goes to Brayden Andrews. Andrews is going to get across the 35 for a good gain to the 39. Picks up 8 or 9. Well, this game already has outscored the game from 30 years ago when these two teams met for the first time. Farrell won that one 6-0. Andrews gets 9. Ball spot at the 39-yard line. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams is going to be stopped for a loss on the play by Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson did a good job there, setting the edge, not allowing Williams to kick that out to the outside. Only needed a yard or two. You really didn't want to lose those yardages there that Joey Williams did. Going to set up a 3rd and short here, still for the Tigers. Nonetheless, a great play there by Julez Johnson, playing both ways here for the Steelers today.
3rd down and 3 coming up here from the Tiger 37. It'll be reversed this time from Garcia to Andrews. Andrews is going to get enough for the first down. He needed 3. He got 4 to move the sticks.
Got what they needed. They went right back, like Dave said, to that inside reverse, this time going to the opposite side of the field. Andrews looked like he got tripped up a little bit. He probably wanted a bit more out of that than he got, but the most important thing for the Tigers, they move the chains, keep this drive alive. Early on here, Dave, we'll see as this progresses throughout the game. I'm really liking the way Southern Columbia's offensive line is controlling the line of scrimmage in the ground game so far. That's going to be a big key to success for them this afternoon.
Tigers will go double tight end here as Chase Williams enters. Handoff goes to Joey Williams, and he's buried by Dunbar. The senior linebacker flew in and dropped Williams right when he got the ball for a loss of 2.
Unblocked on the play there is Dunbar. Complete missed assignment on the right side of that Tiger offensive line. Dunbar lays a smack on Joey Williams. A big hit here. Dunbar, 5'11", 190-pound senior, really making a big play on defense. Farrell's best of the game.
2nd down and 12 from the 39. 7:15 to go in the first quarter. Hockenbroch's going to keep it. He breaks the tackle. He's across midfield. He's to the 40, and he's going to be knocked down there. Nice gain for Hockenbroch as he picks up 21 yards to the 40-yard line.
There's that waggle keep that we were seeing last week, Dave. They set up these other plays with sweeps going to the right, reverses. Well, that time they faked the sweep, fools the Farrell defense flowing far to that side of the field. Hockenbroch sells it as well as any Tiger quarterback has in a long time and picks up a big chunk gain there to pick up the first down.
Ball right at the 40-yard line. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams spins across the tackle on his initial hit. Gets 3 on the play.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he was going to be able to spin out of that initial tackle, but Carleo Lowe, the big 6'3", 260-pound defensive end for Farrell, was there to help his teammate out. Joey Williams not going anywhere after he hit him, but again, 3 yards on first down, that's what you're looking for if you're the Southern Columbia wing T rushing offense.
2nd and 7. Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews is going to get a couple more. Give him 3. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 4 from the 34.
Halfway through, now officially this first quarter, 5:58 and counting. 4-down territory here for the Tigers at the 34-yard line. So the whole playbook's open. You don't necessarily have to go to your passing play here. You're clearly able to run the ball twice if you want to. Haven't seen the Tigers throw the ball yet today.
3rd and 4. Hockenbroch hands it off to Andrews. Andrews is going to be short. It's going to be about a yard short as he picks up 3. 4th down and certainly 4-down territory for the Tigers.
Yeah, it is. Big 4th down here early in this one, Dave. Southern Columbia methodically moving the ball down the field here again on their second drive. Farrell, do they have enough up front here to be able to get another penetration, maybe get a stop here? We'll see what Southern Columbia does if they go quick when they get to the line of scrimmage.
4th and 1 here, Chapman Field. It's going to be a keeper, and Hockenbroch's going to pick up the first down. Good lead blocking there by his backs as he takes it from the 31 to the 25. Huge first down, picks up 6.
Yeah, so that's the other keeper that they have. The big plays from Hockenbroch are coming on that reverse. Sort of some call it a bootleg. The Tigers call it a waggle keep where he reverses out. That time it's a power keeper, faking to the fullback, and Joey Williams gets out there to block as an extra lead blocker for the quarterback.
1st and 10, Southern from the Steeler 25. Goes to Garcia. Garcia finds an opening, and Garcia later, 25 yards this time for Grady Garcia after 32-yard touchdown run to take the lead. Now the Tigers take the lead back, leading 12-8 with 4:21 to go in this first quarter.
Dave, Garcia looks to be on a mission today, looking like his younger brother, Gavin, with that vision. He saw the cutback lane to his right. The play was designed for him to run off tackle to the left. Over pursuit from the Steelers defense. Garcia sees it immediately, sticks that foot in the ground, and he hits Pater, his second touchdown of this first quarter. And now the Tigers going to go for 2 after missing that initial extra point.
Hockenbroch, double tight end. Formation, fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to spin into the end zone for the 2-point conversion. 4:21 to go in the first quarter. Southern Columbia 14, Farrell 8. We'll be back in 30 seconds. So the Tigers will kick it off again and hope for a different result this time.
I mean, Dave, Grady Garcia, 3 carries, 2 of them for big touchdowns. He's up to 71 yards already on the game. The sophomore went over the 1,000-yard mark a game ago, but as we've seen with his brothers time and time again, of course, Grady the 4th of a prestigious family of Southern Columbia high school football players. They just continue to raise their game to another level. The sophomore looks like he is on a mission this afternoon here at Cumberland Valley.
Almost 8 minutes into this game, and other than that 2-point conversion, Farrell's offense obviously hasn't been on the field yet.
Right.
So, King-Vincent, and Timmy Jackson back deep. I'd be surprised if Shadle kicks it to number 7. I think he's going to go the other way to number 6 on the far side.
That's not the way they do their kickoffs, Dave. They try to pin him in this left corner for 30 years. That's the same kickoff they always do. I mean, maybe they change it up here after that, but you just got to be able to tackle better. They had him pinned pretty deep in there, but some really good moves from King-Vincent obviously led to a huge return to answer the Tigers.
So Shadle's going to kick it off. It's going to be taken at the 19-yard line by one of the up men. No, that was King-Vincent that came up. Keegan Deal makes the stop around the 36. Deal making his first career start in his football career at safety today for the Tigers.
Yep, he's been the special teams ace all season, leading the Tigers special teams by a wide margin, but he has 53 tackles on the year, primarily all on that special teams unit, but he's thrust into the starting safety role with the normal starter, Caden Zachman, breaking his collarbone earlier this week in practice. So it's the junior Deal on the brightest lights and the biggest stage getting his first career start.
Zachman had a team-leading 5 interceptions. We're going to start with Pegues in shotgun. He's going to hand the ball off, and going nowhere is Johnson. Making the stop is Quinton for a loss of 3.
Quinton, one of the 4 members of this fearsome foursome, they're calling him, the Tiger defensive line. John, 77 tackles, 21 of them for loss. He has been a menace from his defensive tackle position throughout this state playoffs, and all season he kicks things rolling for this Tiger defensive squad with a big negative tackle.
So loss of 3 takes it back to the 34. Pegues will be in shotgun. He's got trips to the near side. Pegues back, looking, firing, and is going to be caught. What a catch by Dorian Kane. He was in coverage. What a ball. That ball goes all the way to the Tiger 27-yard line.
Man, that's just a fantastic throw and catch, Dave. I mean, Kissinger and Deal were both there. I thought for a second Deal was going to intercept that. He was made a great play on it. But Kane, just a little bit stronger at the catch point, is able to bring it down for a huge play for the Steeler offense.
That catch picks up 39 yards. Pegues is going to keep it himself. It's inside the 25 to about the 24. Picks up 3.
Pegues, a true dual-threat quarterback, 2,287 passing yards on the season, 601 rushing yards coming in, over 44 total touchdowns on the season. Oh, no, that's Johnson with 35. Sorry about that. So they have 44 rushing touchdowns on the season.
2nd and 7. 3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. False start against Farrell. That'll push them back 5 yards. Their first penalty of the game. The Tigers have one as well, a holding call on a kick return. So now it's 2nd down and 12 from the 29.
Didn't really talk about that a lot in the pregame show, how penalties and mental mistakes might really play a key part. We saw last week with Lansdale Catholic really biting themselves in the foot with a couple of big penalties and some big mental mistakes. Farrell just their first there on that play.
Now the trips comes to the Tigers side of the field as Pegues has Juju Johnson to his left. Pegues back to throw, looking, firing, and it is going to be incomplete, broken up on the play. K.S. Morrow for the Tigers. He was looking for Johnson. Great coverage there by the Tiger outside backer.
No, you called it, Dave. Fantastic coverage by K.S. Morrow. They tried to run the wheel route to Johnson out that left side of the field. He was isolated one-on-one. I mean, that's a great matchup. I'm sure one that Farrell was planning on attacking, but Morrow just outstanding defense to get a hand on it and break that pass away.
3rd and 12 now from the 29. Pegues has it. He's looking, and he's going to be sacked on the play. He fumbles the football. It's going to be recovered by the Tigers. Chase Williams with the fumble recovery. Southern Columbia's football at the 46-yard line.
Oh, monumental stake there from Aaron Pegues. He saw the pressure. Andy Mills dialed up a famous 6-man blitz there. He got to him immediately, and he lost control of that football going down. Williams recovered, Dave. I saw Brady Arnold. He thought he was going to have a chance to take that for 6 as he was sprinting in to get it. But nonetheless, the Tigers get the stop and get their offense back on the field, looking to go 3 for 3 in this first quarter.
Tigers have the ball from their own 46. Handoff goes to Andrews. He's going to be stopped after a yard gain.
Again, just still in this first quarter, 1:32 and counting to go here. Tigers have not yet thrown a pass in this game, relied on their running game with all 3 backs and the quarterback. So 4 different ball carriers so far, but it's been a steady diet of this wing tee, ground and pound football. Not that you would have expected anything less today, but Tigers doing what they do best.
2nd and 9 from the 47. Hockenbroch fakes. He's going to roll to his left. He's going to run. He's going to pick up a first down to about the 43-yard line.
I tell you what, Dave, he's got a lot of speed getting to that perimeter. You could tell he's more and more confident running that play. They didn't even fool the Steelers' defense as much as they did on the previous big-time quarterback keeper, but just using some great speed to get to the edge and pick up a first down for Southern Columbia.
First down takes it to the 42 as Hockenbroch picks up 11 on that carry. Will be the final play of the quarter coming up here. Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews is going to spin forward for a pickup of 5 yards.
Good job by Andrews to get 6 of it, and a great job by Juelz Johnson to bring him down to the open field. He was the only guy that was going to be able to stop Andrews from potentially taking that for another Southern Columbia touchdown, but Johnson was able to get enough of him to bring him to the ground after about that 5-yard pickup.
And the final seconds will tick off the clock. That'll do it for the first quarter. Tigers 14, Steelers 8. We'll be back in 1 minute. Back here to start the second quarter. The Tigers will have a 2nd down and 6. Casey, Southern ran 18 offensive plays in that first quarter. All of them were running plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's always surprising to hear it read aloud, but not that we would expect anything different out of a Jim Ross state championship game plan coming in here, wanting to establish that ground game early and often.
Start the second quarter with a 2nd down and 6 from Farrell's 37. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams is going to spin forward, and he's going to be called down, actually, at the 34. He's upset. He didn't think he was down, but obviously the ref had the angle. So Williams picks up 3.
And it sets up nearly an identical situation as the Tigers' last drive, about 3rd and 3 from about the 33, 32, 34, somewhere down there. It's hard to see from way up here, Dave. I forgot my binoculars, but nonetheless, 4-down territory here for Southern Columbia.
Ball's at the 34. Handoff goes to Andrews. He's going to be short. He did get positive yardage. I think he's going to be a half a yard short, maybe.
Yeah, and it's amazing that he got anything because Deontay Gillespie, one of Farrell's top linebackers, really made a hit right around the line of scrimmage. Gillespie, only a freshman, has 140 tackles on the season. So he's obviously an outstanding young player for the Steeler program. He made a really nice hit there on Andrews, but Andrews kept those legs churning to get it close enough for a measurement, Dave.
They're going to bring out the sticks. He's going to be short by about the length of a football.
I think maybe even less than
maybe half of a football.
Now, a lot of times they'll run QB sneak here. Now, up the middle, Farrell, they have a big defensive tackle, Miles Hilton, the 6'6", 370-pound defensive tackle right up the gut.
Yeah,
It's hard to get a push on him on a quarterback sneak, but we'll see what the Tigers want to do here on 4th down.
Handoff goes to Williams. Williams is going to get forward progress to pick up the first down.
Yep, he was thrown backwards on the play, but clearly had enough to pick up that first down before his forward momentum was stopped. So the Tigers do like to run away from Hilton there in the middle, go a little bit more off the B gap there. Like we said, hey, 4-down territory, you get in there, you don't have to panic and maybe throw a pass play that you don't want to or try to get crazy to get the 3rd down. Just keep getting positive yardage and moving the sticks. Wear this Farrell defense down.
Reverse Garcia to Andrews. Andrews is going to be brought down about the 27-yard line by Kane, that being Dorian Kane.
I mean, honestly, Dave, Farrell did a pretty good job of defending that. They strung Andrews out well. They got good pursuit to the football. They were able to wrap Andrews up in the open field. But then you look at the change, and he still picked up 5 yards, so it's a successful play for Southern Columbia. Very difficult to stop that inside reverse when you have 3 talented backs running it each way.
2nd down coming up from the 27. Handoff to Garcia. Garcia is going to spin forward. He's going to get inside the 20. It'll be another 1st down for the Tigers around the 19-yard line. Gets 8. And the small halfback found a hole and took advantage of it.
Yeah, he did, Dave. The sophomore Garcia, 5'8", only 140 pounds, but very strong for that size. So he gets in the mix there. They kind of lose him, and he's able to churn those legs for a 1st down.
First and 10 Tigers from the 19. Handoff to Williams. Williams gets to about the 15-yard line. Actually, they're going to mark him down at the 16, so 3-yard gain will bring up a 2nd down and 7. Tigers leading 14-8, just under 9 minutes to go in the first half.
Amazing that with already 22 points on the board and into the 2nd quarter, this is the only time either team has been inside the red zone today.
Yep.
But obviously you have some explosive runs by Garcia and a special teams touchdown. That's, how you get there.
Luke Gallagher, the receiver, to the left. Handoff to Andrews. Andrews had an opening, but he's tackled by Kane after a pickup to the 11-yard line.
Excellent open field tackle there from Kane. He's got 79 tackles on the season coming in. Farrell really good at tackling ball carriers in the open field. Brayden Andrews makes a lot of those guys miss a couple times here now. Farrell able to get him to the ground.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 3 from the 11. Hockenbroch's going to keep it, and he's not going to get... Actually, he was moving forward. I thought he was going to be marked down. Close to 1st down territory. He was tackled, or I should say hit by Boatwright in the backfield, and he's able to keep his legs churning and picks up 3 when he needed for the 1st down and now goal at the 9-yard line.
And that is some fight there from Hockenbroch. He gets hit at the legs. He goes down, but he's able to brace himself and keep his legs off the turf. Keep moving forward just enough to pick up a 1st down. Those are winning football plays right there. Hockenbroch, an outstanding conversion for the Tigers.
1st and goal from the 9. And off to Andrews. Andrews is going to get to about the 5 where he stood up. They'll bring up a 2nd and goal now from the 5.
Yep, and with this clock continuing to tick here, now going to be under 7 minutes when this play is run. Southern Columbia with both their tight ends, Jace Malakoski and Chase Williams, out on the field. Heavy personnel. 3 plays to get 5 yards. Southern Columbia has yet to throw a pass in this football game. Now, actually, they do bring in Kissinger here to go, one wide receiver, but Southern Columbia doing their damage exclusively on the ground in this first half.
Second and goal. They need 5 yards to reach the end zone. Handoff goes to Garcia, and he's going to be stopped for a loss. There is a flag on the play as well.
Yeah, maybe more penetration than we've seen, or a bigger surge from this FARREL defense. Maybe their best all game. Forced a bunch of linemen and Garcia back behind the original line of scrimmage, bringing him down for a loss there.
Where he was tackled, it's a loss of 3. Tigers already moving backwards. Officials now are meeting, I think, to determine the spot of where the holding occurred. Every official actually meeting.
It's a big penalty against the Tigers here deep in the red zone. Makes it much more difficult to convert these longer yardage situations in this tight red area.
So it'll be a 10-yard penalty against the Tigers.
So it's going to be a second and goal from the 15. So 3 plays to get 15 yards here. Be very interested to see what Coach Jim Roth wants to do. Does he open up the air game a little bit here for the first time, or does he try to get some more of this back on the ground here on second down? Big play call coming here halfway through this first or second quarter.
Hockenbroch back to pass for the first time, and he's going to be sacked on the play at about the 19-yard line.
Tried to run the little 2-route combination with Garcia going to the goal post. Jace Malakoski dragging a bit more over the middle, just well covered in the back end there from Farrell. Good coverage sack for them as Hockenbroch had nowhere to go with it. Tigers going the wrong way here on what was a promising third drive. Now all the way back to the 19-yard line, needed all of it to score 6.
So it'll be a third and goal, as Casey mentioned, at the 19. Hockenbroch back to pass. He's going to keep it himself. He sees an opening. He's inside the 10, inside the 5. He's going to be short of the end zone, but he does pick up 14, making it a much more manageable 4th and goal from the 4.
Oh, that's a big-time read there from Hockenbroch. Saw that there was nobody open. Well covered again by Farrell in the end zone. But the C's parted up the middle for him, so he does what any good quarterback will do. Steps up, picks up a lot of yardage, gets it inside the 5, and now all of a sudden, where it looked like Southern Columbia was up against it, they're going to be able to open the whole playbook up here, bringing 2 tight ends on the field for this 4th down.
4th and goal from the 4. Handoff reverse. It goes from Garcia to Andrews, and Andrews gets into the end zone from 4 yards out for the Tiger touchdown. Brayden Andrews on the reverse. Late blocking by the Tiger lineman as Andrews gives the Tigers a 2-score lead.
Man, what a play call from head coach Jim Roth to go to the inside reverse, inside the 5-yard line. Farrell hasn't been able to stop it yet today, and they don't again there. The huge third down pickup from Hockenbroch sets it up for Andrews on the reverse. Man, that is a big-time conversion, Dave. We look back potentially at the end of this game. That one is really one that could change the momentum and the outcome of this game. 4:31 to go in the second quarter. Tigers go 3 for 3 in scoring touchdowns on their offensive drives.
Tigers have a double tight end formation. Hockenbroch back to pass. Looking. Firing, and it's going to be caught on the play by Jace Malakoski. How did he come down with that one? Wow. There is a flag, however. Some flags.
Defensive pass interference. I mean, Jace was being tackled in the back of the end zone, but yet somehow he's able to go up and high point it. What a catch by Malakoski.
So the Tigers are reacting. It's going to be against Farrell. What a pass from Hockenbroch to Malakoski. Malakoski went up and mussed the defenders. So we'll see what the flag is officially on. Holding against Farrell. So we're going to take a minute break. Tigers lead 22-8, 4:31 to go in this second quarter. And we're back here as Brayden Andrews scored from 4 yards out to make the score 20-8, and then Malakoski caught the 2-point conversion from Hockenbroch. Southern leading 22-8 with 4:31 to go in the first half. Farrell did defer the opening kickoff.
Yeah, so clearly Southern has the momentum now, Dave, but if you're Farrell, you're going to get 4 minutes and 31 seconds with all of your timeouts to go down and try to score, and then you get the football back. So we've seen Southern Columbia do it to teams a number of times throughout the season. Score before the end of the half, score at the beginning of the second half, and really get right back into a game war, and a lot of times their case is really bury a team. Farrell going to need to execute here, get some points, obviously, to start to do that.
So Southern Columbia, 30 offensive plays, all runs for just under 200 yards. And they are certainly controlling the time of possession. Shadle kicks it off. It's going to be taken. Oh, no, it's going to go through the hands, and it's going to stop. Now it's going to be a touchback. King-Vincent went through his hands, but since he didn't have possession of it, it can still be a touchback.
Really caught a break there, though, because that ball spun and stopped maybe a quarter of a yard into the end zone, barely off the white paint that marks the line for the end zone. So Farrell catches a bit of a break there. They're going to take over at the 20. The Southern Columbia defense got a big stop the last time they were on the field. The crowd is urging them on here. A stop here would be massive for the Tigers.
Late substitution on the field for the Steelers. As Pegues is in shotgun. Hands the ball off to Johnson. Johnson's going to be stopped on the play by Keegan Deal from his safety spot after picking up 3.
Yeah, great job by Deal. Again, like we said, his first career start as a safety here at the varsity level, fills the hole perfectly. Julez Johnson down after a minimal gain.
So 2nd and 7 coming up now from the 23-yard line. Pegues looks over to the side to get the call. Trips to the near side, the open side of the field. Has a receiver. Farrell's going to take a timeout, and so will we. 3:43 to go in the first half. Tigers lead 22-8. See you back here in 1 minute. Back here out of the timeout. Pegues fires across field. It's going to be caught, but it's going to be a loss on the play. Kissinger makes the stop as Dorian Kane is tackled for a loss of 2. Brings up a 3rd down and 9.
Just really well played by the Southern Columbia defense. Kissinger meets the block at the line of scrimmage, the flow from the defensive line out, and help pursue Anthony Martino out there doing his job as well. You just can't defend a screen play out in the open field much better than the Tigers defense just did right there.
3rd and 9. Farrell has it from their own 21-yard line. Pegues back to throw. Looking, firing. It's going to be caught by Kane. First down out to the 35-yard line, maybe the 36. There is a penalty flag, though, on the play, so we'll hold. It was a 15-yard catch by Kane.
Tigers appear to be signaling it's on the Steelers, and Farrell is certainly walking backwards.
A lineman must have came downfield as there was an ineligible receiver downfield. So take the first down away. Penalties on Farrell, a 5-yard penalty, so it'll now be 3rd down and 14.
And that was going to be a big conversion for Farrell to keep this offensive drive going. 2:54 to go here in the second quarter. Southern Columbia with all 3 timeouts. They get the football back here. Plenty of time for them to add even more points onto the field. Farrell back deep into their own area. This is a big 3rd down here, Dave.
3rd and 14 from the 16. See if the Tigers bring pressure. Pegues, back to pass, scrambling, escapes one man, throws it, and it's almost intercepted, but it falls incomplete. Anthony Martino with great coverage there as Jaden Carter provided the initial pressure, and they'll bring up a punting situation.
Man, what a game up front from Andy Mills. He stunts the defensive end in. Carter wraps around out to the outside. Gets the pressure on Pegues, not able to bring him down, but then Chase Williams in pursuit really was able to affect the launch angle there on that pass. I thought Anthony Martino almost had a chance for a pick 6 on that one, but nonetheless, the Tigers get the stop they need. In a dangerous punting situation here, the punter near his own end zone.
Yep. Gets off the punt. It's going to be down at the 43-yard line. Tigers will have good field position from the 43 with 2:23 to go in this first half. Farrell only has 1 first down in this football game, Casey.
Yeah, it's just another masterclass of the half put on by this Southern Columbia defense. We've been seeing it week in and week out, and they are continuing to rise to the level of their competition. But here with 2:23 to go in this half, inside their own 50, so they only need 43 yards to get a touchdown here, Dave. All 3 timeouts. Southern Columbia doesn't even have to change the game plan. 30 runs to start this game. No reason to even change that here on their 4th drive.
Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews is at the 40, gets to the 39 for 4 more.
Tigers with the sense of urgency, not going into the no huddle, not wasting a timeout on that. They get Kissinger to run in the play, back in the huddle. They'll get to the line and snap this one quickly.
2nd and 6 from the 39. Reverse to Garcia. Garcia's at the 35, going to be brought down about there, close to first down territory. They're going to stop the clocks. It'll be a first down. They already signaled the first down. He got 6. 11th first down for Southern Columbia in this first half. They'll have it at the 33 with 1:40 and counting left until intermission. Handoff to Williams. Williams gets inside the 30 to about the 26-yard line. Picks up 7. The Tigers will take a timeout, and so will we. 1:28 to go in the first half, leading 22-8. Back in 1 minute. Back here out of the timeout. 2nd down and 4 for Southern Columbia from the 26. Handoff goes to Garcia. Garcia gets first down yardage to the 22.
And as we typically see here in these 2-minute situations, Coach Ruff, 2 plays of this Tiger offense, they're right back on the football.
Ball's at the 22, 1st and 10. Reverse to Andrews. Andrews is going to be tackled after a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 with a minute to go.
Yep, it's still plenty of time down here. 2 timeouts remaining for the Tigers. They run a play out. They get on the ball quickly with a sense of urgency.
2nd and 8 from the 20. Hockenbroch back to pass. Completes it to Gallagher for a pickup of 4 on the play. The Tigers will take a timeout with 47 seconds remaining, facing a 3rd down and 4. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back here, live out of the timeout. That 4-yard completion from Hockenbroch to Nate Gallagher came after the first 35 offensive plays were runs by Southern Columbia.
Incredible, Dave. Very incredible.
3rd and 4 here from the 16. Hockenbroch's going to keep it. He's going to get a first down inside the 10, tackled at about the 6-yard line. Picks up 10.
38 seconds and counting on the clock. The Tigers are on the ball, ready to snap.
1st and goal from the 6. Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews is going forward. He's going to be stopped short at the 1-yard line. 5-yard pickup for Andrews. And Southern Columbia will use their 3rd and final timeout. We will have a 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line with 22 seconds to go. We'll be back here to close out this first half in 30 seconds. Southern Columbia looking to go in front by 3 scores.
Interesting that Coach Ruff took his last time out there with 22 seconds. I guess the theory there is you want to be able to run 2 plays quickly here if needed so you can keep it on the ground, get up, reset, and run a second play if you don't convert here.
Ball's at the 1. Handoff to Garcia, and Garcia completes the hat trick. That's Grady Garcia's 3rd touchdown of this first half. That one 1 yard with 19 seconds to go in the half. The Tigers build a 20-point lead.
Hey, we are witnessing greatness here today at Chapman Field. A clinic, an exhibition being put on in the running game. Southern Columbia, 4 drives, 4 offensive touchdowns, all of it on the ground. Just 1 pass attempted so far in this half. This ground game has not been stopped at any point here in this first half by Farrell.
And Southern Columbia will go for 2. Andrews is going to be stopped short. We'll take our final timeout of the first half. Southern Columbia 28, Farrell 8, 19 seconds remaining in this first half. We'll be back in 30 seconds. clock here to close out the first half. Shadle's going to kick it off. Farrell has 2 timeouts remaining, and obviously they have a lot of speed.
Well, Dave, this kick return game has been their best offense.
Yeah, but
the offense of the first half. They returned their first kick for a touchdown. Other than that, the offense has been held to nearly nothing.
so it's going to be taken at the 14-yard line by Thomas this time. He's going to get out to the 27-yard line. Sorry, that was Jackson, actually. So 13 seconds to go here. Southern obviously is going to come out and prevent defense.
And, Dave, it helps on those kickoffs when you could have your potential all-state defensive end, Chase Williams, with 81 tackles and 26 for a loss on the season, run in the middle of your kickoff unit down there, making the open field tackle. 2 safeties on the field here, Deal, and now Brayden Andrews coming in to play his usual second safety spot for the Tigers. So like Dave said, clearly a prevent look here.
Ball's at the 26-yard line. Pegues back to pass, and he's going to be sacked on the play by Jadon Carter. That's Carter's first sack of the season, and it's a big one. The Tiger fans get to their feet. Halftime here. Southern Columbia, all the momentum. They lead 28-8. We're going to take a 3-minute break. Come back with the first half stats.
3 carries, negative 24.
Back here from Chapman Field for the PIAA Class 2A state championship game halftime show. Southern Columbia, a dominant first half performance. 4 offensive drives resulting in 4 touchdowns. All of their damage coming on the ground. Just a clinic in offensive and ground game execution. Getting them 28 first half points. Farrell did return their first kick return after a Southern Columbia drive for a touchdown. That's about the only scoring we've seen from them. So the halftime score 28-8 in this one. At this time, we're going to bring you today's halftime stats.
Well, before we even get into the production on the field, Casey, time of possession, Southern Columbia had the football for 18 minutes and 42 seconds. Farrell for just 5 minutes and 18 seconds.
Jeez.
The first downs are 13-1 in favor of Southern Columbia. Passing yards, Farrell has 37. Southern Columbia, just 1 pass for 4 yards. Big difference has been in the ground game. Southern Columbia, 235 yards rushing. Farrell, negative 24 yards rushing. So the Tigers have outgained the Steelers 239-13. 2 penalties for each team and 1 turnover. The fumble recovery by Chase Williams of the Tigers. Now we'll start with the first half stats. For Southern Columbia, on the ground, Brayden Andrews, 15 carries for 58 yards, including that 4-yard touchdown run that he had. And the guy that's been dominant in the first half for Southern Columbia, sophomore Grady Garcia, the 4th of the brothers to score in a state championship game. I don't know how many times in the history of Pennsylvania 4 brothers, if ever, have scored touchdowns in a state championship game. Grady Garcia, 7 carries, 91 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Joey Williams, 9 carries for 24 yards. And Ayden Hockenbroch, 7 for 62. Through the air, Hockenbroch's lone pass was caught for 4 yards by Nate Gallagher. Not much doing, obviously, for Farrell. Their points coming on that 90-yard kickoff return by Jadon King-Vincent. Their ground game has been negative. Their running back that is going to sign less than a week from today, Casey, to play in the Big Ten at Nebraska, Julez Johnson, 2 carries for 0 yards.
Wow.
Quarterback, Aaron Pegues, 3 carries for negative 24 yards. Through the air, Pegues is 2 of 4 passing for 37 yards, and he also coughed up the fumble that Chase Williams recovered. Now, on the attempt afters, Southern Columbia missed an extra point. Shadle missed the initial one. On the ensuing drive, or ensuing kickoff, it was Julez Johnson scoring on the 2-point conversion for the Steelers. Then it was Southern's Hockenbroch with a 2-point run. Following touchdown, Jace Malakoski caught a 2-point conversion from Hockenbroch, and the last touchdown they scored, Tigers came up just short of the 2-point conversion, and those were the first half stats. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll be back to talk about just how dominant Southern Columbia's coach Jim Roth has been before this game started, and if he was to win another state championship. Southern Columbia leading this to a final 28-8 over Farrell. Casey Savitsky, my partner here, I'm Dave Fegley. Southern Columbia's Jim Roth, the head coach, has nothing more he has to prove. He's the most successful coach by a mile. He's got 65 more wins than George Curry for the all-times. Unfortunately, Coach Curry passed away, so his number is at 455. Jim Roth, 520. But some of these numbers are just incredible. This is Jim Roth's 23rd state championship appearance as a head coach. The next person in line is Mike Mishler, Cathedral Preps coach. He's made 8. So Jim Roth has made 15 more state championship appearances than any other coach in the history.
3 times as many. I mean, that's just, these stats, as you continue to read them, are just, it's really hard to wrap your head around the sustained success.
So Mitchler's second with 8. George Curry and Steve Devlin have made 7 appearances. 6 appearances to Jeff Wechter, Justin Wheeler, and Tim Roken. And there's 5 others that have made 5, but it's just simply outstanding. George Curry, who we talked about before, has the second most state championship wins of all time with 6. Jim Roth looking for 15 to go 9 ahead of the late, great Bulldog head coach. It's just, you can't, folks, what I'm trying to say here is if you're listening, we're playing this back afterwards. Don't take this for granted. You're never going to see a program do at a small public school what Southern Columbia has done, not just in Pennsylvania, not just in the East Coast, in America. It's just, you look at what the Tigers have. It's not coming from a city. You're not recruiting players from all over different states. Tigers just get it done consistently. Jim Roth has never had a losing program. He doesn't like taking the credit. He likes spreading it around. He calls it a program thing. Andy Mills, his defensive coordinator, has been along the ride the whole time. Another coach, the line coach, one of the line coaches, I should say, Mike Johnson's been coaching for 3 decades. It's just all the other assistants, and he takes pride in continuing the sustained success from the program. Go back, I wrote an article for the Press Enterprise. I interviewed you, Casey. You were on the 2011 team as a halfback with Matt Moore. Tyler Levan was the fullback. My brother Brad Begley was the quarterback. You guys lost the 2011 state final to Clareton, arguably the best team Southern Columbia's ever faced in the history of the program. And getting second place in states is something that 99% of high school football athletes would dream to have the opportunity to do, and that's one of just 23 teams that has gotten to this point. More than 2 decades worth of state championship appearances. Your thoughts?
It's almost hard to put into words just because, like you said, this is just such a singular program in the way that they sustain success year after year, decade after decade, generation after generation. To be a small part in that and helping to get this program back to the state championship game nearly 15 years ago meant so much to us. It means so much to all the kids at Southern Columbia. To be a part of such a legendary program, to continue the winning tradition on, it's something you grow up wanting to do. It's something you work at throughout your schooling career, your high school career, and getting to play for Southern Columbia. I mean, you could ask Southern Columbia principal Henry Hynoski, Super Bowl champion on the New York Giants, when I know he talked to us in the locker room before a game and told us, one of his greatest moments and that he takes the most pride in is running down that hill on a Friday night wearing the black and gold. And that's a guy that's done it at every level, all over the field. But from him to everybody that's played this for this program, it means a lot to be a part of such a special program that does it the right way, that does it consistently, and becomes basically a big brotherhood of people of all ages now at this point, after so many years of success from Jim Roth, Andy Mills, Mike Johnston, and this entire program.
Now, this game is far from over, as Farrell has shown all season long that they can score quickly and often. They'll get the ball to start this third quarter. We're going to take our final 3-minute break leading up to the third quarter kickoff. See you back here in 3 minutes. We're back here live.
Sorry, you can just talk.
And Southern Columbia will kick off to start the third quarter. As we mentioned at halftime, Farrell only had the football for 5 minutes in the first half.
Yeah, they're itching to get their hands on this football. They've been limited to next to nothing offensively. The playmakers in Nemo Jones, the Tulane offered wide receiver, Juelz Johnson, the Nebraska commit running back. They got athletes all over the field. They're just waiting to try to use that explosiveness. Tigers got to be ready to match their intensity. The Steelers are going to come out of this half fighting.
Shadle gets his right foot on it. It's going to be taken at the 11-yard line, and it's going to be fumbled on the play as it is recovered by Farrell. King-Vincent takes it out to the 21-yard line. They try to reverse to Jackson, but it certainly didn't work.
No, not a line there at all. King-Vincent trying to pitch it to his other return men to set up another big return.
And obviously that was something that was talked about at halftime to do coming out.
Right.
But it was executed about as poorly as possible. So the Steelers will have it 1st and 10 from their 21-yard line. Wildcat formation. And it's going to be a keeper by Johnson. He's held to 2 yards.
Trying to get Johnson going out of that Wildcat. They spread the Tigers defense out with 5 very widely spread receivers. They just run Wildcat power up the middle.
So it'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 here. As Pegues looks to the sideline. Shotgun formation, Pegues back to pass. Looking, firing, has a receiver across the 40. That's going to be Nemo Jones. Takes it from the 23 to the 43 for a pickup of 20. Just the 2nd first down for the Steelers.
Yeah, Nemo Jones just found a little bit of a soft spot in the Tigers zone there, got behind that 2nd level. Good throw there from Aaron Pegues to find him in there, and a nice pickup for the Steelers.
1st and 10 from the 43 now. Pegues rolls to his right. Looking, firing, and it's almost intercepted, breaking up the pass. Brady Arnold for the Tigers.
Yeah, Andy Mills brought both inside linebackers on a blitz in the A-gap there, flushed Pegues to his right. Arnold, an excellent coverage on the play. Pegues basically threw that ball to him as he completely shielded off the would-be Steelers receiver. Arnold just not able to come up with the interception. Nonetheless, it goes down as a good pass breakup and great pass defense by the entire Tigers defensive unit.
Pegues only has thrown one interception in 15 games. That was nearly his second. We have a 2nd down and 10 here. It's going to be a handoff and picking up a 1st down to the 45, actually to the 40-yard line is going to be Johnson, so he picks up 13 for his longest run by far of the game.
Yeah, there you're starting to see that quickness, that burst through the hole. Tiger not even doing a bad job defending that. Johnson just really getting some acceleration going through the hole to pick up that 1st down.
Ball's now on the Tigers' side of the field. 44-yard line, 1st and 10 Steelers. Pegues is going to keep it. Pegues is going absolutely nowhere, as making the stop is Caden Hopper. He's going to lose 2.
Yep, they try to go QB power that time to Pegues off the right side. Jadon Carter got through initially to get some penetration in the backfield, but the entire Tigers defense swarming to the football over there. Well defended on that run.
2nd and 12 coming up. From the 46. Pegues drops back, looks, fires, incomplete. He was looking for Kane on the out pattern, but the heavy pressure forced him to get the ball away as Kissinger was in coverage.
Yeah, and Kane also slipped on the route, so just no connection there whatsoever. This 3rd and long now, Dave, I mean, this is a big drive for Farrell. Down 3 scores, down 20 points. You don't want to say anything's must score. There's still plenty of time in this football game, but with the success that Southern Columbia has had, Farrell absolutely wanted to come out and make sure they got some points to try to get some momentum back on their side. Huge couple of downs coming up here in this football game.
3rd and 12 from the 46. Shotgun formation for Pegues. He has it, straight drop back, looking, firing, incomplete. Kissinger on the coverage on Kane. It brings up a 4th down and 12 now. Obviously, in a normal circumstance, you would punt the football here, but the way the Tigers have controlled the clock, I think
they're going to go.
Yeah, I do too.
Dave, on that play quickly, I think they were trying to get the screen pass set up to Juelz Johnson on the right-hand side, but the Tigers' defensive end, Chase Williams, just completely took him out of the play, dropping him to the turf, kind of blew that entire play up there for Farrell.
4th and 12 from the 46. Receivers switch sides. And we have a flag on the play, probably delay a game. That's going to be the call, Casey.
Yep, you're starting to see some frustration shown in the huddle of Farrell and from the Farrell sideline. They were trying to get, it looked like, Nemo Jones into the slot, matched up on the Tigers linebacker. Now, Southern Columbia is playing 2 safeties right now, so they did have safety help over the top, but while they were trying to get that matchup sorted, didn't get the playoff in time. Now they're back to 4th and 17. Still going to leave this offense out here to go for this, Dave.
It'll be on the Steeler 49 this time. They need to get to the Tiger 34. There's the snap. Pegues looking. Pegues is going to be sacked on the play. The Tigers make the stop. Turnover on downs. Southern's going to get outstanding field position at the Steeler 39. I don't know if John Quinton's the man that got it. It looked like Pegues was trying to escape and fell backwards. I don't know who to give credit to on the sack.
I could just give credit to all of them, Dave. That time, Jace Malakoski in there at defensive end as well, that NASCAR package. They've been doing it all year, folks. The fearsome foursome of this Southern Columbia defensive line has been getting after people all season long. They do it again to open this second half, setting their offense up with outstanding field position.
Hockenbroch back to pass this time. It's going to be a screen to Malakoski. He's going to lose 2 on the play.
Yeah, they go, wow, Coach Roth goes to the screen pass on that first play. They tried to set up the tight end screen, play was very successful last week. They picked up a big chunk yardage, or maybe that was 2 weeks ago, where they ran that tight end screen. Talked to a couple of coaches. They don't think Southern Columbia's run that one in maybe over a decade, but nonetheless, when you have a great tight end like Jace, you want to find ways to get him the football. Farrell sniffed it out there, though, on that play.
2nd and 12 from the 41. Reverse, Garcia to Andrews. Andrews is going to get about a yard, making it a 3rd down now and 11.
Yeah, it was good penetration on the play there from Farrell. Number 5, Jason Marshall, the second, was able to knock Andrews off his line a bit. He didn't end up making the tackle, but it slowed him up enough for his teammates to get in there. So this is really the first 3rd and long the Tigers have been in since that big pickup by Hockenbroch down in the red zone. See if they maybe go to the air here, try to get one on this possession.
3rd and 11 from the 40. Hockenbroch back to pass, fires, and it's going to be cut a yard short by Kissinger, bringing up a 4th and 1.
Yes, they go to their leading receiver, Blaze Kissinger, with 18 catches for 366 yards and 7 touchdowns on the season. They run the simple slant pattern. Blaze finds the soft spot in that Farrell defense, and that's exactly what you're looking for there. You know it's 4-down territory. Just make this into a 4th and short so you could get it back into the hands of your ground game. Jace Malakoski, Chase Williams, the 2 tight ends coming back on the field. Tigers going to go power football here on 4th and short.
It's 4th and 1 from the 30-yard line. 7:10 and counting left in this 3rd quarter. The Tigers up 28-8. Handoff goes to Joey Williams, and I don't think he got it. No, he did not. Williams is going to be stuffed at the line of scrimmage, so turnover on downs.
Time stop there from Farrell. Again, they got some penetration in the Tigers' backfield. Williams was able to shake him off, but by the point his forward momentum was slowed and the rest of the Farrell defense was able to bring him down. So Farrell gets the stop they need to hang around and stay in this football game. 5 minutes gone here in this 3rd quarter. 7 minutes remain. Tigers still lead at 28-8.
Ball's at the 30-yard line. And Pegues back on the field in shotgun. He's back to pass, looking, firing, and it's going to be, let's see here, fight for the football. I will go to the receiver, and it is going to be caught by Farrell. And it's Kane who picks up 30, how many yards? 31 yards?
Wow, how did he come away with that football? I thought for sure Southern Columbia intercepted that one. An outstanding job, whether it was in the middle of the air or at the point of the catch or on the ground. I'm not too sure, but he was able to come away with it. Now, we do have a flag on the field after the play was over. We'll see if this was potentially an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
We'll see here.
Catches a good line are coming back up now.
31 yards. Waiting for the officials here. And it's going to be a 15-yard penalty against the Tigers.
So,
Ethan Makowski called for it.
So what was almost a disaster for the Steelers in an interception turns out to be one of their biggest plays of the day. They're set up now near the red zone.
Yep.
In striking range to potentially score their first offensive touchdown of the game. That's a couple of big-time contested catches these Farrell receivers have made in this one.
So that's a 46-yard change of field position as Pegues keeps himself. Picks up a couple of fumble on the play. Oh, they're saying down. Piaa came up with the football, but they're calling Pegues down after picking up 4 on the play.
That's 2 in a row Farrell gets away with there. Wow, close call there as the Tigers' leading tackler, Talon Piaa, came away with that one. Farrell going quick here, empty formation.
2nd and 6 from the 21. Pegues looking, Pegues firing, and it's dropped. He had a wide open King-Vincent, and he just dropped it.
Oh, couldn't be more open than that. Pegues lobbed it up to him, was coming in almost maybe too slow. I mean, that was laid out on a platter for King-Vincent, but unable to come away with it. That could be a big drop there for the Steelers.
So now it'll be a 3rd down and 7 from the 21.
Most promising offensive drive of the day for the Steelers.
Ball just outside the red zone. Pegues back to pass. Looking, firing, and it is going to be incomplete. The receiver caught it, but pushed out of bounds. He was not in bounds. Now it'll be a 4th down and 7 coming up.
That was Julez Johnson from the running back position making that catch at the back of the end zone. Keegan Deal from the safety spot got there just in the nick of time to be able to push him out of bounds before Johnson was able to get his feet. Touchdown in that red-painted goal line. So a huge play there from Deal, forcing this 4th down. Now Tigers, I would expect them to bring some pressure here, try to speed up Pegues.
4th and 7. Pegues back to pass, looking, firing. It's going to be caught, and picking up the 1st down is Johnson. Takes it to the 13-yard line for a pickup of 8.
Yeah, I mean, they only had 5 guys in there to block. Tigers brought 6. You knew they were going to get there instantly. Pegues just lobs it up. Johnson able to make the defender miss in the open field just enough to pick up that 1st down conversion.
First and 10 from the 13. 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Pegues rolls to his right. It's going to be caught, but tackled for a loss by Brady Arnold. It's going to be a 1-yard loss as it's caught by Johnson.
And that was another double inside linebacker blitz put on there by Andy Mills. With Farrell running this empty formation, they don't have enough guys to block the 6 that the Tigers are bringing. So instantly, Pegues is under heavy pressure. Interested to see if they get somebody. Now they're going to stay in empty formation as Andy Mills continue to roll the dice here with this inside linebacker pressure.
2nd and 12.
Certainly lined up for it.
Pegues back, looking, firing, and it's going to be dropped again. And the same kid dropped it. King-Vincent drops it again.
Yeah, King-Vincent, a lot of hand fighting going on there in the end zone, was able to get Brady Arnold out of the way as he was in coverage, but man, 2 right in his hands dropped in the end zone.
That one, Pegues just threw it up in the air.
Oh yeah, I mean, the blitz is on literally instantly on the snap of the football.
3rd and 12 now from the 15, 4:41 left in the 3rd quarter. Tigers leading 28-8. Pegues looking, firing, incomplete, almost intercepted again. That time it was Brayden Andrews. 4th and 12 coming up.
Dave, this is fascinating to watch. Neither team is making an adjustment. Southern Columbia bringing 6, both inside linebackers on every single blitz. Farrell knows they don't have enough guys to block them. They're just going to try to hope that one of their guys wins one-on-one. Some dangerous passes being thrown here, some almost touchdowns. This is quite an offensive drive here. Now on 4th down, do the Tigers run it back one more time with this inside linebacker blitz to try to get Pegues to make a mistake.
4th down and 12 from the 15. Pegues back to pass, looking, firing, and it's going to be caught for a 15-yard touchdown by Johnson.
So Farrell wins that battle. They go again with the inside linebacker blitz. The pressure comes on again. But Julez Johnson, talented enough to beat the defender in coverage, make the catch at the back of the end zone. Man, give Aaron Pegues a lot of credit there with the pressure coming. You know it's coming. still able to just create barely enough time to get these throws off and put them in positions where his receivers have been able to make catches. That time convert into Johnson.
And they're going to go for 2. Pegues, and there's going to be a false start against Johnson, so that'll take it back from the 3 to the 8. They're going to stay in that shotgun formation. As there's going to be 2 receivers to each side. Pegues back to throw, and he's going to be sacked by Caius Morrow, making the stop. Score remains 28-14 in favor of the Tigers. 4:32 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. So with 4:32 to go in the third quarter, the Tigers' lead is 28-14.
That's a big-time drive there from the Steelers to be able to convert on a couple of those 4th downs, get a couple of big plays, and get some points on the board. Still down 2 scores here, but now they're right back into the thick of this football game. They got their first stop against the Tigers all game on the previous drive. Easier said than done to flip the momentum on a rolling Southern Columbia team. Farrell doing an excellent job here in this third quarter and doing just that. Now it's going to be up to the Southern Columbia ground game to be able to continue to churn out first downs and get a sustained drive going here.
Southern's going to watch for the onside kick attempt as the officials moving a Steeler coverage guy back. Renbar set to kick. Kicks it, and it's going to be taken by Garcia at the 21-yard line. Garcia gets out to the 30 where he's going to be stopped at the 30 with 4:28 to go in the third quarter. So, Casey, Farrell's got some momentum going now.
He absolutely did what they had to do there, both defensively and then after they got the stop offensively. Wasn't always easy, but they were able to score and get back into it. Southern Columbia opened that last drive with the passing play. I think they'll go right back to that ground game that we saw be so successful in the first half.
Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews is going to break one tackle across the 33 to about the 34. Still going forward out to the 35. He picks up 5 on the play.
Farrell really starting to send in guys from their secondary on basically just straight blitzes, knowing Southern Columbia is going to run it. They've been pretty successful here getting some penetration. This is where after a couple plays, Southern Columbia is really good at getting you from going too hard to one side and coming back with the reverse or a keeper to the other.
2nd and 5. Reverse goes to Garcia. Garcia's not going to get much running room as he's tackled after a gain of 3.
Yeah, Dorian Kane comes up there. Reads it well. Garcia had a lane to run, but Kane filled it quickly and was able to bring him down prior to the line to gain.
3rd and 2 coming up.
The big short yardage stuffer, number 56, Miles Hilton, all 6'6", 370 pounds, and checks in to play nose guard here.
Big 3rd and 2 from the 38. Hockenbroch's going to keep it. And he's not going to get anything. He's going to lose a yard on the play, maybe 2. So it's going to be a 3 and out quickly for the Tigers.
Yep. This Farrell defense, they came out, we said it, they were going to come out knowing that their backs were against the wall, ready to fight, and that they have. They get the first 3 and out now of the game, winning at the line of scrimmage here on that possession, forcing this Tiger running game to very little. Now you got to punt to some dangerous return men back there in King-Vincent and Julez Johnson.
So Shadle back to punt. Gets it off. It's a low squibbler. And it's going to get downed inside the 30 at the 27-yard line.
Yeah, that's a pretty good punt there. Kept it out of the hands of both return men, but still was able to get some good yardage on it. So good execution from the Tigers in the punt game. Obviously, their first punt so far this game. But now Farrell with the momentum rolling, down only 2 scores, 2:22 to go in the third. Southern Columbia's defense going to need to find a way to get a stop here on this drive, or else we really got ourselves a ball game.
You're right. 1st and 10 from the 27. Geese gets the snap. It's going to be a design keeper. He's going to be stopped if he got a yard. They're going to give him a yard. Good pursuit there by the Tiger defensive line.
Yeah, so now the Tigers bring an inside linebacker out of the game. They go to 2 safeties. They play a 4-3 look with Andrews and Deal back there at safety. Really going to rely on this front 4 to control that line of scrimmage. That time, victory for the Tigers.
Trips close formation as Pegues goes to his right. He's looking, and he's going to fire, or is he going to be sacked on the play? It's got to be either intentional grounding or a sack. Yep, intentional grounding. So that's a loss of down.
There's some arguments, it appears, over the loudspeaker over there from the Farrell sideline and the official.
And the official has his microphone on. So we heard that argument with the coach.
Really well covered in the back end as we wait for the call of intentional grounding here. Flushed Pegues out to his right, and then Talon Piaa, who's sort of just spying Pegues in this defense, runs at him, gets to him, and brings him down. Right before he brought it down, Pegues threw the ball, never got close to getting back to the original line of scrimmage. So we have the intentional grounding call, and that is a big one. Loss of down and the yardage, really back in the Steeler offense, back all the way near the 15-yard line.
It's going to be a 3rd down and 20 from the 16-yard line. Pegues back to pass, looking, firing, and it's going to be well short of the intended target, Johnson. So now the Steelers are going to have to punt. A great stop, not just in getting the ball back by the Tigers, but eliminating that extra momentum that the Steelers could have gotten.
Oh, yeah, that's huge from this Tiger defense, and a great adjustment from defensive coordinator Andy Mills. They go away from the inside linebacker blitz. They bring the extra safety onto the field. They allow that front 4 to get the pressure. They still were able to get pressure, and then the coverage was just so much better in the back end on those attempted passes. Really well done by this Tiger defense.
So the punt is going to be hitting at the 45. It rolls out to the 49-yard line where the Tigers will have it with 1:28 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading 28-14.
And just little things there, Dave, the momentum flip. You know, Southern Columbia had the ball to start their previous drive. They get a pretty good punt away, get it down there deeper into Farrell territory. Well, they're able to knock Farrell back even further. Farrell's not able to get quite as good of a punt. Now, after 2 3-and-outs by each team, suddenly Southern Columbia has the ball on their side of the field, less than 50 yards to go for a score.
And it's handoff up the gut for a nice gain of 7 yards. Andrews on the carry.
They go quick there at the line of scrimmage, just getting Andrews on a quick lead up into the middle of that Farrell defense.
I don't know why Southern's so quick up to the ball right now.
Well, I think they're just trying to get Farrell maybe a little bit off their heels.
So 2nd and 4 from the 43. Handoff goes to Williams. He's inside the 40. Gets to about the 35-yard line. Picks up 8 and a 1st down. That's the first down for the Tigers in this second half.
Yeah, and I think just to go back to what you were saying there, Dave, they're less worried right now about running clock. They just want to get a successful drive. FARREL with a lot of momentum. They've been really bringing guys up from the secondary, getting a lot of penetration. I think they're just trying to go quick to get them back a little bit, not allow them to get these run blitzes off quite as quickly.
1st and 10 from the Steeler 35. Hand off to Garcia. Garcia plunges forward to the 31-yard line for a pickup of 4.
And you could even see that in the change in the game plan here, the game calling here, as running more into the B gap and A gaps there, even with your running backs.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. Southern will enter with the football to start the fourth, leading 28-14. We'll be back in 1 minute. Back here to start the fourth quarter. Tigers will have a 2nd and 7 from the FARREL 32, leading 28-14. Southern Columbia vying for a 15th overall state championship. If they're able to hold on, this will be their 9th in 2A after winning 6 in single A. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams is inside the 30 to about the 25, close to a first down. He's got the first down to move the sticks, and now the Tigers can use some clock.
Yet they go to the weak side belly there, a play they've had a lot of success with in this postseason, get some great blocking up front. Williams able to get those legs moving, get a little bit of yards after contact, picking up the first down. Yeah, here's where you want to be methodical, Dave, for sure. You want to be slow to the ball. You want to be aggressive still, but no need to rush. Methodical and continue to plod this FARREL defense away.
Ball's at the 25-yard line. Andrews on the handoff. He's going to be stopped after maybe a gain of 1.
It's Marshall and King-Vincent in there for that Steelers defense, just selling out, as, honestly, any defense would with the prevalence that the Southern Columbia offense has run the football, but really selling out to stop it right now, coming up to make the play there at the line of scrimmage on Andrews.
Actually, no gain on the play, so 2nd down and 10 from the 25-yard line. Hockenbroch's going to keep it. He's inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. And this red zone potential scoring drive is driven by Blaze Alexander, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat of Lewisburg, helping you score big on savings.
Man, the junior middle linebacker, Dorian Kane, is having an outstanding game. He's really playing more of a safety position here today. Listed as a linebacker on our sheet, but he has been huge in run support for FARREL. When the Tigers have won the battle up front and there's been a lot of green turf out there, he's made a lot of one-on-one tackles that are not easy to do, and he's doing a heck of a job doing it that time, forcing this 3rd down.
It'll be a 3rd and 4 as they spot the ball at the 19. Goes to Garcia, and Garcia is going to be tackled for a loss of probably 3 on the play. Yep, back to the 22.
Yeah, just nowhere to go. FARREL selling out to that near side. They had a bunch of guys that looked like on the turf, but just literally nowhere to run for Garcia. 4 down territory here. I think Southern Columbia might have to try to go to the air to get this one. FARREL really is tightening up this run defense here in this second half.
So 4th down and 7 from the 22-yard line. Hockenbroch back to pass, looking, firing. It's caught for a first down by Blaze Kissinger. What a catch at the 5-yard line. How did he catch that ball, Dave? Wow. Young Blazer went up and grabbed it right over the hands of the FARREL defender. You want to talk about getting mossed. The catch of the season for Blaze Kissinger when his team needed to convert that 4th down catch. The 6'1", 180-pound junior
with a massive conversion for the Tigers, and now their goal to go up 3 scores.
17-yard catch there by Kissinger. What a grab.
Yes.
Handoff goes to Andrews. Andrews bounces it to the outside and gets into the end zone from 5 yards out. 8:15 to go in this football game after Blaze Kissinger makes a clutch 17-yard catch. It's Andrews scoring from 5 yards out.
Unbelievable, Dave. That execution and ability by this Tigers to convert. We saw it in the first half where Hockenbroch scrambled up the middle to make it a 4th and manageable. Tigers converted on the next play. That time on 4th down, Kissinger makes the catch of the season for him and the Tigers. Andrews able to cap it off with 6 on the very next play.
So the Tigers will go for 2 again. And it's going to be Hockenbroch looking, firing, and catching it is Jace Williams. What a catch by Jace Williams for the 2-point conversion. Southern Columbia 36, Farrell 14, 8:15 to go in the 4th quarter. We'll be back in 1 minute. Back here as Shadle is getting ready to kick. He gets the kickoff, and it goes to DeMar Kane. DeMar Kane gets it at the 38, takes it across the 40, across the 50, into Tiger territory to the 47-yard line. So a nice return there by the Steelers. They are down, though, 3 scores with just over 8 minutes to go in this football game.
Yeah, they're going to have to start to really pick up the tempo. They got some success finally 2 drives ago, went 3 and out last drive. I'm interested to see. I think they'll go back to that empty formation here, try to force the Tigers into some difficult matchups on the perimeter. No, they don't. They keep Johnson in the backfield. Interesting. Okay.
1st and 10 from the 47. Pegues back to pass. Looks, completes it at the 40-yard line where Nemo Jones slips down, picks up 7. Clock continues to tick.
Had a lot of separation there, just had to go down to his feet or down to his knees to make that catch.
2nd and 3. Pegues looks, completes it, breaks a tackle inside the 30, inside the 25 to about the 22 is Kane. So that's a pickup of ball's at the 22. Pegues looks, fires, completes the pass to Kane again. He's inside the red zone here to the 10-yard line.
So here they are going quick and being successful at it already down into the red zone after just a couple plays. This Farrell team not going to go away without a fight.
Pegues is going to keep it and not doing anything as making the stop is Quentin for a loss of 3.
Yeah, they brought Hopper on the inside blitz there. He got to him first, tried to get away with Pegues, but Quentin Williams, a host of Tiger defenders there to bring him down near the line of scrimmage.
So Quick to the line of scrimmage. 6:50 to go now. Second down and long at the 15. Pegues back. Looking. Firing. Broken up by Piaa Morrow. Oh, and there's a late flag. A very late flag. Wow. That came in extremely late.
I didn't see anything there, Dave. What's the flag going to be on here?
I'm assuming pass interference. That was 5 seconds after the play was over. Oh, they're actually calling a holding. So that'll be a 7-yard penalty on the Tigers.
They're calling that on Morrow, who was at the point of attack. Wow, big break for the Steelers there on that call.
Pegues has it inside the 10. Pegues looking, firing, broken up by Caden Hopper. Now it's 3rd down and 7.
Tigers defensive line ratcheting up this blitz here again in the red zone. Gotta have it if you're Farrell's trailing by 3 scores. 6:36 to go in the fourth quarter here.
So it's a 3rd down and 6 from the 7. They can still get a first down at the 1. Empty formation here. Pegues back to pass. Looks, fires, and sails it over the head of Nemo Jones. Now it's 4th down.
Andy Mills continuing to bring pressure. Pegues under constant blitz pressure from this Tigers defense when he goes to the empty formation. That time looks like it got to him a little bit as he's had a man open in the end zone, just sailed it over the top of his head back beyond the media standing in the back of the end zone.
4th and 6 from the 7. 6:31 to go. Tigers leading 36-14. Pegues back to pass, looking, firing, and it is out of bounds. Tigers will take over on the coverage. Nate Gallagher, it was caught, but out of bounds. Southern Columbia takes over on offense.
Yeah, just perfect coverage from Gallagher there, walling off Johnson out to the back of the pylon where he was able to make the catch, but well out of bounds. He shielded him completely. And now Johnson still just walking back into the defensive huddle here. Southern Columbia gets the stop they need, 6:25 away from another historic state championship victory.
They need 93 yards to the end zone. They don't care about that right now. They care about moving the sticks and milking this clock. 6:25 to go as Hockenbroch's under center. Handoff goes to Williams. Williams is across the 15. He's across the 20. 25 out all the way to the 30-yard line. 31-yard line. Pickup of 24 on the play.
Wow, they're able to get that much on the first carry. Huge for this Tiger offense. Farrell, their championship hopes on life support here now. They're going to have to try to create a play, force a turnover if you're a Tiger ball carrier, protect that football at all costs. You know the Steelers defense is going to be coming in trying to punch that thing out. They need to get the football back, but their season, second by second, appears to be in grave danger.
1st and 10 from the 31. Inside of 6 minutes to go. Handoff goes to Andrews. He's across the 35 out to the 39-yard line. Picks up 8.
And it's just demoralizing when you're a defense. You're trying to get this football back, and Southern Columbia just continues to pick up positive yards. Then they start getting chunk yardages, and all of a sudden they're out near midfield after you had them pinned deep in their own territory. All the while, that big clock at the end zone just continues to tick down.
2nd down and 1 from the 40. Handoff goes to Garcia. He's got a first down out across the 45, nearing midfield out to the 49-yard line. There is a flag on the play. The carry would put Garcia over 100 on the afternoon if it holds up. Wait for the officials' ruling. Personal foul face mask. So a 15-yard penalty added on to the end of the run. First down, Tigers.
Southern Columbia, Dave, just what a performance here yet again today. Under 5 minutes away now. I think these fans could start to smell it. They could start to taste it in the air. Southern Columbia on the doorstep of another record-setting state championship victory.
1st and 10 from the 36. 4.5 minutes and counting left in this 2025 PIAA Class 2A football championship game. Williams gets it. He's inside the 30. Tackled at about the 26-yard line. Picks up 9 more.
Now they got all 3 backs going. This Farrell defense that has played much better against the run here in the second half doesn't appear to have quite as much, I don't know what you want to say, fight to the ball here as they did previously, and the Tigers just gashing them now on the ground game.
2nd and 1 from the 27. Hockenbroch under center. Handoff goes to Andrews. He's got a first down to the 25, maybe the 24.
At some point here, if you're Farrell, I think you probably have to start taking timeouts. Only 3:26 remaining in the game and counting. I would be surprised if after this play they don't take a timeout. I mean, if not, you're essentially conceding.
Yep. 3 minutes to go, separating Southern Columbia from an unimaginable 15th state championship. And we have our Chickatana Waste Hardware game-changing moment coming up as well. Handoff to Garcia. Garcia's inside the 20 to about the 19-yard line. And as Garcia picks up 5. Lacey, you want to let everybody know about our game-changing moment?
Well, I wasn't going to read 2 ads at once there. I was going to wait till after this play. 2:25 and counting. 2nd and 6 for the Tigers. Icing this one out completely in complete Southern Columbia fashion. Just, man, what a performance by this team.
2nd down. Handoff goes to Williams. He's inside the 15, inside the 10, and Williams gets into the end zone from 19 yards out. Now all 3 Tiger backs have scored.
That's the icing on the cake there. Southern Columbia, Joey Williams, he's had a great state playoff run. He's going to be the one that seals the deal here for the Tigers. Farrell, give them credit. They fought back in that 3rd quarter, but just a dominant performance from this Southern Columbia football team. They're going to win their 15th state championship. Just an unbelievable record, an unbelievable bounce-back season from this team after getting knocked out in the district championship a season ago. They just continue to get better and better each and every week. And, man, what a complete football team they turned themselves into. They showed it all here today.
Tigers will go for the extra point. Kick is up, and this time it is good. Southern Columbia 43, Farrell 14, 2 minutes, 1 second to go in this football game. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
As the kick goes here, Dave, you can call it.
So taken at the 28 and going backwards, now switching field is DeMar Kane. He gets out across the 40 to about the 43.
Yeah, so Southern runs 18 offensive plays. They're all running plays. They get to 3rd and long, and Hockenbroch picks up about 17 on that, getting them real close to the end zone. They end up going reverse to Andrews to score on the 4th down conversion. That put them up 2 scores, and from there the Tigers never led by less than 2 scores in their absolutely dominant performance here today.
So 1st and 10, Farrell from the 43-yard line. And the Tigers will take a timeout, and so will we. We'll be back in 30 seconds. So we're back, 1:50 to go. The Tigers took a timeout to get their starters off the field to a standing ovation. It's going to be a forward pass to Johnson, and Johnson's going to take it across midfield to the 36-yard line. So a pickup of 20. 36 is 14, 21.
Wow, so Tigers starting defense held him to 15 rushing yards on the game. That's his biggest play of the day. Gets it against the Tigers' second unit, obviously, but just what a job this Tiger defense has done on Juju Johnson all game long.
It's another pass to Johnson as he's taking it inside the 20 to, so from the 36, still going forward. I thought he was down at the 10. He gets all the way down to the 2-yard line. So a pickup of 34. And it's going to be 1st and goal, Farrell from the 3-yard line. Another pass to Johnson. He's going to get into the end zone from 3 yards out for the touchdown.
Just goes to show you, Dave, that drive there, how good the Southern Columbia first-string defense has been playing. I mean, Johnson, when he's going against the JV team, he's just jogging around out there, scoring touchdowns at will. I mean, completely unstoppable. He's one of the best running backs in the state, regardless of classification, going to Nebraska to play football. Over 2,300 rushing yards on the season. And the Southern Columbia first-team defense really held him in check today. Only 15 rushing yards on 4 attempts.
Pegues is going to pass it for the 2-point conversion, and it's going to be caught by Nemo Jones. 42 seconds left in this game. Tigers leading 43-22. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Back here live with 42 seconds separating Southern Columbia from winning a 15th state championship.
Tigers have their hands team out here to receive this eventual onside kick.
Might be too cold for the Gatorade bath.
Water might have froze up in there.
Yeah. Farrell kicks an onside kick, and it's going to be recovered by the Tigers' Anthony Martino. Victory formation coming up here for the Tigers, Casey.
A well-deserved victory formation, Dave. Competing at this level against a team as talented as Farrell and everybody they've seen in the PIAA state playoffs. Every week you hear how many Division I recruits that each team has. They've been outnumbered in that regard all season long because the Tigers don't have any Division I football recruits right now on their team, but they got a bunch of good players playing for this program, and they show you don't have to be a high recruit to go out and win at this level, capping off a tremendous revenge season.
Tigers take the knee, and that's going to do it. The final 40 seconds will click off. Southern Columbia, champions of Pennsylvania once again. The final score, Southern Columbia 43, Farrell 22. 8 of the last 9 state champions in 2A hail from the Black and Gold Tigers. 15 state championships, 15-8 overall. What a performance by Jim Roth's program. Phillipsburg, Catawissa, and New Media are on top of the Keystone State. Yet again, congratulations to the Tigers of Southern Columbia. We'll take a 3-minute break. Casey and Phil will finish this post-game show. I'm going to go down and get my quotes. What a season. Congratulations, Southern Columbia. Dave Fegley taking this to break.
It's a good thing.
Welcome back to Chapman Field on the campus of Cumberland Valley High School, inside the home press box here for the Black Diamond Sports post-game show. Following yet another, just hard to put into words, impressive performance from the Southern Columbia area Tigers. They defeat the Farrell Steelers by a final score 43-22 in today's PIAA Class 2A state championship game. The Tigers win 15 in a row on this 2025 campaign. A team with a lot of goals and aspirations of getting redemption on a season ago. They came back focused, determined, and with a lot of work ethic and pride over the course of the offseason. They got better and better as each game went on and really turned themselves into a power in this state playoffs, dominating both sides of the football. Again, they win this one 43-22 to win their program's record 15th PIAA state championship. They've won 8 of the last 9 Class 2A state championships. Just an incredible run of success. But as we bring along the CEO of the Black Diamond Sports Network, Dr. Philip Mannion here for the post-game show. Doc, I'd love to just get your thoughts specifically on this team and this game here, how they were able to turn themselves into a state championship caliber team.
Well, first of all, let's just reminisce a little bit and say how it was always said, if they had to move to 2A, they wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
But that myth has been debunked multiple times here. But certainly, again, we talked about this on the way down and at other games during the season, how this team, definitely a team effort all the way around. I mean, they put it together. I mean, they got off to that slow start against Wyomissing, but, you know, they made mistakes there. They had turnovers, and that game could have been different had that not occurred. But nonetheless, they turned it around, and they put it together here today in a great team effort. And I mean, the way they controlled the line of scrimmage, that the offense and defensive lines, you could just see them gel and mature as the season went on this year. And they were second to none this season in their line play. And then they have the backs that always run hard. You have Hockenbroch, who really stepped it up a notch here as the season went on, as well as his running game started to contribute to everything.
Absolutely.
In addition to his arm through the air, and just a big win for the Tigers today. And they have every right to celebrate here today, and really enjoy this one. And hats off to Coach Roth and his staff again, as a year after year they just put together the right combination of players in the right places, and then certainly the game plan that they put together is second to none.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And we've seen that throughout this playoff run. It really started with Troy in the district final, the team that knocked the Tigers out a season ago and really set them on this 370-plus day revenge tour where they won 42-0 over them, and just consistently in this playoff run, just executing all over the field. We always talk about the defensive line because, well, it's one of the better defensive lines you're going to see at this level of football, and they have completely controlled each game they're in, but finding ways to get contributions from everybody all over the field. Today you have to bring in a new safety because you lose your team leader at interceptions, Caden Zachman, to a broken collarbone during the week at practice. You're able to bring in Keegan Deal, who's had an outstanding season on special teams, and he played himself a darn good football game today. They just really, have such, like you said, a complete team of guys that all found ways to contribute and really earn themselves this 15th state title for their program. We'll start with Farrell. Through the air, Aaron Pegues, 13 of 16 for 202 yards and 2 touchdowns. They were able to start getting it going there a bit in the second half, and then a bunch of those yards, I believe, came on those what we're going to call pass plays against the second unit there on that final drive after the Tigers seniors got their curtain call. Juelz Johnson, that's a stat right there. You see that, you just know that's going to be a successful day for the Tigers. 4 carries for 15 yards. Doc, this is a guy that's on the season, has 213 carries for 2,287 yards and 35 touchdowns coming in. The Tigers held him to 15 rushing yards. Aaron Pegues, the outstanding dual threat quarterback, 9 carries for negative 43 yards on the day. Those two stats just tell the tale of how dominant this Tigers defensive line and defensive whole was. On the receiving end for Farrell, Dorian Kane led the way with 5 catches for 97 yards. Julez Johnson did get it going in the receiving game, finding some matchups when the Tigers really went into some all-out zero blitz situations. He had 6 catches, 78 yards, and both of Farrell's offensive touchdowns. Jamauri Jones with 2 catches for 27 yards. Kick returns. Can I get to that? Yep. King-Vincent, he actually opened the scoring for Farrell with that big opening kickoff, and that's when you're thinking, okay, we really got ourselves a game. Southern drives right down the field and scores, but they answer with the kick return of their own. But ultimately, Southern Columbia really limiting them in general offensively. GDK Development of Shamokin is a proud supporter of all local and youth sports. The Walsh family has been in business for decades, and thank you for supporting them and their local businesses, which include the Elysburg and Sunbury Burger King restaurants. Again, thank you for your many years of support, and good luck, area athletes and teams, this sports season from the Welsh family and GDK Development of Shamokin. For the Tigers of Southern Columbia, Ayden Hockenbroch, well, he was perfect through the air, 4 for 4 for 29 yards, but when you tell the tale of the tape, it was a lot of ground and pound for Southern Columbia. Grady Garcia, 12 carries, 108 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Joey Williams, 15 carries for 91 yards and a touchdown. Brayden Andrews, 22 carries for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Hockenbroch himself, the quarterback, with 9 carries for a big 66 yards. That's 59 total team rushing attempts in this game, Doc. Just completely committed to establishing and controlling this game on the ground. Through the air, one of the bigger plays of the game, one that you said might have been your Chickatano Ace Hardware game-changing moment. Blaze Kissinger had a big conversion late to help push this Tiger team up 3 scores. He had 2 catches for 27 yards. Nate Gallagher had a reception for 4 yards, and Jace Malakoski actually lost 2 yards on the tight end screen that they set up for him. Those were our GDK Development of Shamokin and the Welsh family post-game stats. As for us, Phil, what other thoughts do you have here on this Tiger season?
Yeah. Again, it's just a great season, and when we started covering them back in 2004, the success throughout that time frame is just astonishing. No other program has had the success that they do, and it's a combination of things. It's obviously Coach Roth at the helm. It's Andy Mills defensively. It's all the assistants. They all contributed. They all have their niche, and they know how to run practices obviously well, and it's a well-oiled machine, let's just put it that way. And the great support that they get from their fan base, you can see them here lined up along the fence year in and year out. And after last year, a little bit disappointment, and everybody was thought, well, that's the end of the Southern run, but they proved them wrong. They came out this year, obviously they put a lot of hard work in the off season. They definitely got stronger. That front line, both sides of the ball, they came out and they moved some people around this season. So hats off to them. And again, just an outstanding win, a big one today for the Tigers. And again, never count them out. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think you brought up an interesting point there, Doc. And after their struggles last season, it's easy to say when you're looking at 8 of 9 consecutive championships, 15 overall in the dynasty that they have here. A lot of people thought that run was over after last year. There wasn't too many people outside of this program that really believed that this current iteration of the Southern Columbia Tigers would be capable to get back to this point and succeed at this point. As you see them working out, obviously, I'm coaching basketball at the school, so I see all of these kids a lot. They're really putting in a lot of work, a lot of time, really committed to getting back here. And as the season progresses, they obviously drop that opener to why I'm missing. And a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, this is, Southern's really done now. But they rebounded, and that showed a lot to me at that point, that they were able to not let that derail their season early. They come back and just continue to get better week after week after week after week. They get the big wins over Mifflinburg and Montoursville. Then they really start to look dominant to the point here in the state playoffs. This team is unrecognizable to the team that we saw obviously last season and even early in the season. Just playing at such a higher level everybody deserves credit for that. Obviously, it starts with Coach Jim Roth and his entire staff, but the players do as well. A lot of credit was well earned this season for this Tiger team.
Very well disciplined as the season went on, and just execution. It was all about execution, and that's what propelled them to where they are here this evening. Hats off to them. On behalf of the Black Diamond Sports Network, congratulations to the Tigers of Southern Columbia.
So for our Bill 95.3 listeners, that's going to wrap up our post-game show today. Again, Southern Columbia, to wrap it up, they win 43-22, winning their 15th Piaa state championship. 8 of the last 9 Tigers finished the season 15-1, winners of 15 straight, champions of Pennsylvania. If you're still with us on the Black Diamond Sports Network, I want to make sure we thank the softball team from Southern Columbia, wishing our employees good luck today, and coaches on the gridiron. The softball team congratulates you on winning another state gold championship, as well as the track and field and cross country teams at Southern Columbia. They want to send a special shout out to the Tigers today for their state championship win. Proud of everything you had on the field today against Farrell. All of our Black Diamond listeners, Phil, we just want to say thank you to all of them. They join us, each and every week. They follow this season along. It's so great to hear from a number of them throughout the season, throughout the country, throughout the state, from different places where people end up and wind up. It's one thing that I don't think a lot of people outside of this program realize just how this Southern Columbia program as a whole just becomes a big brotherhood, a big family that's able to keep people together no matter where they go on to in the country. You're hearing from people all over the place, and it means a lot that you as the CEO and we're able to bring these games to the people every single week and watch such a special dynasty here in this Southern Columbia football team. It's quite an honor.
And Black Diamond only is what its announcers and staff are. Again, I want to thank you guys. You, Dave, do an outstanding job for Southern Columbia.
The trophy cases inside Southern Columbia High School hold plenty of football hardware. And now, one more added to the collection. Head football coach Jim Roth and some of the senior players from this year's state championship team accepted the 2025 Super 16 #1 team trophy.
It means a lot because I know this is a trophy that represents a lot of good high school football teams from a large portion of Pennsylvania. So it's not just like a small conference or whatever, and we've always been very happy with the support and the recognition that Channel 16 has given us.
This is also the 15th time that Southern Columbia has been named the Super 16 #1 team. And this year's team joins those Tigers of the past as the best in our area.
Those are people that you looked up to when you were younger and stuff like that, and you get to see like you're in their shoes now and you did what they did. You got to accomplish like something like that, something so great.
You can win a state championship and still not be like recognized as the best in the area, but it's cool.
The Tigers claimed their 15th state championship in school history back in December, capping off a 15-game win streak to finish the season, beating Farrell in the 2A state title game.
Going from one of our most difficult seasons in program history to one of our best, it just says a lot about the character and the desire that this group had.
You can't beat a feeling of your last football game being a win. That's it. There's no words to explain how great it feels.